Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the planet of debates, Debate Talk Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Stanley of Sin No More Ministries, here to encourage you all to support Sal's Showtime on Debate Talk for You. Those that have been shown support, you have been such a blessing to this powerful ministry, in so much that this show is still on the air because of your heartfelt love gift. For those who are unable to give, we are still praying that you reach down into your pocket for $1. Yes, that's exactly what I said. I said $1. That same paper that you use for that vending machine. Amen? That dollar will make so much of a difference in this ministry. If you go to PayPal and set up your account, you can do it in so much that they can only reach out $1 every month from your check. You won't even feel it. And the show will stay alive on the air because of you. You'll have such powerful debates every week for years to come. So go to www.paypal.com, then use the email debatetalkforyou@gmail.com. That is debatetalk4u@gmail.com to donate. God bless you all.
You don't want to miss the best debate show via internet? Debate Talk Radio. Check out the schedule for Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time or at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. To check out the archives, go to www.blogtalkradio.com/debate talk 4 and the letter U. You can listen via phone or via Skype by dialing that number 646-716-7320. Again, that's 646-716-7320. You can also go to iTunes to the podcast section. Just type in the search box Debate Talk 4 and letter U, and you'll see the show pop up absolutely free. You check out season 1 all the way up to the present season and enjoy the entire show. So keep it locked on Debate Talk Radio. Check us out.
Greatness attracts greatness. Talk with the Titans host here, Callum L, and you're now locked into Debate Talk for You Radio.
My name's Kiaja, and if you want to hear the best debates in the world, come check out Debate Talk for You, hosted by my dad, Sal Showtime. Bye.
Holy greetings to you all. This is Minister DeAndre from Heirs of the Promise Ministries. It's been a while since the Debate Talk for You audience has heard from me. That's because on this year, April 8th, 2015, I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, also called ALL. And also, I found out I had a chromosome called the Philadelphia chromosome, which meant I would have to have a stem cell bone marrow transplant. Well, through the Be the Match registry, worldwide registry, the doctors did find me a 100% unrelated donor, and I had that stem cell bone marrow transplant on July 18th of this year. And I'm proud to say, through the grace and mercy, and healing power of the Most High, I am cancer-free. Hallelujah. Now I need you guys, the Debate Talk for You audience, to go to my GoFundMe account, gofundme.com/QZ4SEBVC. That's gofundme.com/QZ4SEBVC and give a donation, and I would appreciate it, your love and support. I'm looking forward to coming minister to you guys in the near future. Peace and blessings to you all.
Hi, this is Tyrone Thompson, host of the Blog Talk Radio broadcast, Talk Real Solutions. Please tune in and listen to all of our shows 7 nights a week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At Talk Real Solutions, we cover a variety of topics to ensure we speak about what may be needed in our community at any time. Talk Real Solution is the hottest blog talk radio show going on right now. You can listen to our broadcast at www.blogtalkradio.com/talkrealsolutions or visit our website at www.talkrealsolutions.com. Also like our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/talkrealsolutions. You can call in at any time during the show and add to the conversation and offer your solutions at 1-858-357-8453. That's 1-858-357-8453. Because at Talk Real Solutions, we want to make sure you have a chance to talk real solutions.
Hello, everybody out there listening in. It's Brother LeVar, co-teacher of Absolute Bible Truth Ministry. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge and give reverence and credence to the Father of all creation, the Holy One of Israel. Peace and blessings in the name of our Lord and King, the Messiah, Jesus Christ. I want to take this great opportunity to invite you guys to the Absolute Bible Truth broadcast on Blog Talk Radio. If you love to hear the word or have any questions concerning the word, call in and dial 646-716-8249. That's 646-716-8249. We are live on the air every Saturday, the Most High's weekly Sabbath, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to listen in via internet, type in www.blogtalkradio.com/Absolute Bible Truth. We also have a Facebook page. Just type in Absolute Bible Truth, all one word, in the search engine. At ABT, we teach the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth concerning the Word of God while leaving out all personal opinions, speculations, and beliefs. Our ministry believes emphatically that the Bible is indeed the absolute truth, and we pride ourselves in bringing forth the Word in a clear, intelligent fashion so that the body of Christ will be edified in abundance. I love you guys, pray our strength in Christ, and we will do the same for you. Shalom.
Shalom Alaikum, Israel. This your brother Zadok Ben Israel, assistant teacher at the Congregation of Israel, the Knesset of Jesus, located in Buffalo, New York. We believe in the full, uncut Word of God from Genesis to Revelation, and we seek to share the truth that the Holy Spirit has witnessed to us. So if you are interested in finding out more about our ministry, please visit us at www.congregationisrael.net. You can also find our teachings on YouTube under my namesake, youtube.com/Zadok Ben Israel. We also have a page, Knesset Yeshua, KNESSETYSHUA. You can also find us on Blog Talk Radio every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the Growing Stone Bible Study Show. Go to blogtalkradio.com/Nazarene. And if you feel you just want to reach out and talk to us personally, call us 866-78-BIBLE. Shalom, and we look forward to hearing from you.
You're now listening to Debate Talk Radio.
This is Renald Francoeur representing from Atlanta, Georgia. And when I'm not busy in the studio, I'm checking out Debate Talk for You Radio. Keep up the great work, Sal Showtime.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to another show. You're now listening to Season 6 of Debate Talk Radio. Of course, I'm your host, Sal Showtime, and it is Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so you know what that means. This is the segment called The Relationship Challenge. This is actually Volume 9 of The Relationship Challenge, where we talk about everything in relationships, and, we had add a biblical twist to a lot of the topics, so make sure you want to tune in. And, of course, we like everybody to call in with their questions and their comments. You know that number, 646-716-7320. This is the show where you listen to the audience can interact with us. Of course, the only rule that I have is that there's no foul language. You got to keep it clean, keep it professional. I have people listening in with their children and even their elderly. So welcome once again to Debate Talk Radio. We have so much going on this particular week, and as the show goes along, of course, I'm going to keep you guys updated on some things. But from Monday all the way to Thursday, we have shows, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So keep it locked to Debate Talk Radio. But the big debate is coming up on Thursday between Team KOJ and Team Tanakh. Was Jesus Christ a false prophet? Was Jesus Christ a false prophet? You don't want to miss the big debate this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Debate Talk Radio. And then we're going to have a post debate, actually, on Virtue TV on YouTube. Again, we're going to have the post debate on Virtue TV, find out what happened after the debate. Again, you have to go to YouTube. It's going to be hosted by our brother Virtue from the UK. So you don't want to miss those events coming up on Debate Talk You Live. But again, this is the Relationship Challenge, and today's show is entitled Interracial Relationships Part 2. That's right, people. Once again, it's Interracial Relationships Part 2. We had a lot of feedback for Part 1. A lot of people requested another, part for this particular topic, interracial relationships. So we're going to do Part 2 for the people out there. And, of course, we have a filled-up special guest slot today on the panel for this particular topic right here on Debate Talk for You. So let me jump right into it. Of course, I got to first introduce the first lady of Debate Talk for You, the creator of this segment. This is Amuna Israel. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brother Sal. Welcome and greetings. All praise be to the Most High, the Holy One of creation. This is Amuna Israel. I pray that everyone is doing well. I just wanted to update you a little bit on what's up, Brother Sal. I look forward to this conversation, and we have some projects in the works that's coming your way. Just continue to be on the lookout for a children's book coming up. It's called My Brother, My Keeper, as well as Solonomics 101, which is a self-help guide for soul improvement. So definitely continue to look out on all social media. You'll see me as Muna Yisrael on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all that niceness. So once again, welcome, and I look forward to this conversation.
All right, we appreciate you once again. That's Amuna right there, creator of the segment. It's the Relationship Challenge. Let's go to the next special guest. I believe this is King Yeshaya right here. Welcome to the show. 312. Is this King Yeshaya? 312. Can you hear me? 312-885.
You talking about me?
Oh, okay.
Hello?
Yeah. Who am I speaking to? Yeah, who am I speaking to? Who is this?
Oh, no, this ain't King Yeshai. This brother Azakay Fingers.
Okay, I got you. How you doing, though, man? I see you pressed the number
good,
one way in
I'm
advance,
good.
huh? Yeah, you pressed that number one way early, huh? I got you.
Yeah, because my brother Mikha'el, told me about the show, so I had to come listen in and chime in, bro.
Okay.
But grace and peace in Jesus' name, everybody.
Yeah, well, you know what? You might have to join the panel, man, just in case the King Yeshaya don't show up. So you can stand by, brother. I might add you in.
All right,
so hold on, man. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let's go to the next special guest. This is my sister from the BK representing, righteous sister as well. This is Sister Mayana. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me well?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, well, Shalom, family. Greetings, beloved, mi gente, everyone in the panel and the listening audience. Hallelujah. Thank you for having me back again. Let's see. In terms of projects, there are a few projects that I'm working on. Most of them are helping launch the projects of our community, the things that our sisters and brothers are working on. But my own project should be available to everyone by the summer, in addition to the things that Muna and I have been doing on the side to address certain issues that our sisters are bringing to our attention. So in those arenas, you get to see me even before I launch my personal channel and the book that we're working on.
All right, well, of course, we appreciate you as family right there coming back each and every week right here on Debate Talk for You. All right, so we have a brand new special guest on the panel, actually. This is the first time I actually was like doing a random search for other special guests to join this particular panel for the interracial relationship, and this is the first time here. I want you to give a warm welcome to Tiffany. Welcome to the show.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Shalom,
everybody.
Good.
Thank you for having me on the show. This is my first time, so I'm really I kind of I've listened in on a few of your other shows on a few other topics, but I'm happy to be here, and all praises to the Most High.
I want to tell the people where you come from and how long you've been studying. You can put that out there now.
Sure. I actually am from Houston, Texas. I have been studying the Word for about 5 years now. So, kind of new, not so new, but, I'm just happy to be here and be able to have a voice.
Yeah, well, we definitely appreciate you being here. We actually read a recent show letting people know that we need some more ladies on the panel. So, we definitely appreciate you coming on, bringing that female energy tonight with this particular topic right here on Debate Talk Radio. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And actually, Water Swordsman is not here yet. I guess we're going to wait. Okay, I think this is him right here. Water Swordsman, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, brother? Sorry about that. This phone is going crazy. Yeah, shalom to the panel. Yeah, phone is going crazy. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Yeah, thanks for letting me be on, man. I hope this be a good show. Shalom to all the brothers and sisters on the panel, and I'm ready to go.
All right, so of course, when it comes to the relationship challenge, the only rule that I have is that there's no foul language. Of course, just to avoid any background noises, please press mute on your phones so you won't, when somebody's talking, they won't hear any background noises. Of course, we appreciate that. Just press mute on your phone so we won't hear any background. And of course, later on we're going to go to the listening audience out there. What I'm going to do, I'm trying to reach out to Brother King Yeshaya in the meanwhile, but we're going to start the show up. Hold on. I think we have another. Okay, my brother Mikha'el is here. Mikha'el, welcome to the show.
Shalom, Sal. Shalom to my brother War. Shalom to the beautiful sisters. And shalom to my brother Oz. I heard him call in. And, yeah, man, I wanted to get in on the last one. Oh, first of all, it's a part in the body. I like to give all praises to the Elohim, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, which is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in the name of the Son of the Highest, our High Priest, Jesus Christ the Mashiach. And, I was listening to that last one y'all had, and, me and Sal almost got into it because I was on there, and it was good, and I wanted to get on the panel so bad, although I called probably about an hour left, and right when it came up time for him to I think I was the last caller. Right when it came time for me to come on there, my call dropped. And I was tearing the crib up trying to get back on, but I knew it was going into overtime, and I couldn't get on. And I said, man, Sal, I want to get in. He said, man, we'll do a part 2, brother. I said, okay. So I'm really grateful. I thank the Most High for putting me on this panel with these very knowledgeable brothers and sisters. And I think we can get a real good understanding out of this conversation because it is a subject that's touchy, to our people for a lot of reasons, and not just the sisters. Everybody thinks it's just touchy to the females. It's touchy to the brothers, too, and I explain why later. But it is a discussion we shouldn't be so taboo and scared to have, because in the end of the day, I know it's hard to do it, but if you can remove your personal feelings from it and really look at what the book tells us and why it says what it says when it deals with the stranger in certain context, then I think we'll be able to get clarity on the situation. So with that, I say shalom, shalom.
All right, that's Brother Mikha'el right there once again on Debate Talk Radio. Unfortunately, Brother Tazariak, he said he was going to try to make it, but, he couldn't make it, so we're going to have to continue the show without the brother. But we appreciate it. If you didn't hear part one, check him out on part one, Tazariak from the ISUPK. You check out part one of this show, Interracial Relationships. Definitely another classic in the archives. But, Amuna, you can take over. Of course, we'll be on social media, interacting with the people out there, checking the emails, and, of course, I'm in charge of the phone line. So, again, if you have any questions or comments, people, you know that number, 646-716-7320. Press number 1, and we'll add you in the conversation. Amuna, opening statements.
All right. Thank you, Brother Sal, and welcome to all the guests. Welcome to all the listeners once again. I am your co-host, Amuna Yisrael, and as Brother Mikha'el just said, it was bubbling over from 2 weeks ago. The pot was just jumping, and everybody still wanted a piece. And so here we are speaking about interracial relationships as it relates to the Torah, as it relates to the laws. What does it mean? 2 weeks ago, Brother Awar brought up Jungle Fever, and he made me actually have to go back and watch the movie because I was so used to this terminology, but I really didn't remember what the movie was about. And let me just say, very interesting concepts and thoughts that were brought out in the movie, some of which we saw in Torah, concerning when you intermarry into spaces where you may not be accepted by the whole. And I think this is what we were getting into today, and what hopefully we'll get into today, as well as what the other nations really see. Do they really marry you or want to marry, especially the so-called black men? Do they really want to marry you because of yourself? We've watched some very interesting social media videos to bring it into the here and now to see how much not only is the so-called black woman being objectified in these interracial marriages, oftentimes, not all, I cannot make a blanket statement, but this is from the horse's mouth. And given the reasons why they, or she in particular, wanted to be with a black man, and by the way, she is, when his name is called Tyrone, basically, his name is Tyrone. But anyway, the long story short of it, hopefully we'll be able to go back into the Torah, flesh out some information, and bring it on to today, because I know that a lot of people may be listening. Some may be offended because you come from mixed background. A lot of us do, based on this diaspora. But this issue that we're facing predates the diaspora. It predates slavery. We can see it in the pages of the Tanakh. And so hopefully we'll have this conversation. But I'm going to go ahead and give it over to Brother Mikha'el, because he told the story of him being cut off right before he wanted to get in, and he is new on the panel for relationship channels. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to you, Brother Mikha'el. The mic is yours at this point. Do your open. I just wanted to say, we usually just do our opening statements. We go around the table, and then from there we just build on the conversation. So you can go ahead and do your opening statements.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, beloved Bazion.
You're welcome.
For everybody who don't know what that means, daughter Zion. And I appreciate that. And you know what? That thing with Jungle Fever was heavy. And I've seen the movie probably 50 times. No, not that many. I've probably seen it about 10 times in my lifetime. But I did pick the subliminals up in it. But I looked at that movie kind of different now, because I went back and listened to the show from the parts that I missed, and I'm looking at it kind of different. And it make a lot of sense what the brother was saying. And with that being said, I think this is where we got to keep it real at. When we dealing with this issue, and I know it's a lot of people listening, we have to be realistic about this too. Strangers have always been amongst Israel. Let's just get that out straight through the door. Strangers have always been amongst Israel. Dealing with the Torah and the Tanakh, which is for those, we use the terminology, but for those who are new in this, it's just the Torah is the first 5 books of Moses, as they say, the law, and the Tanakh is the entire Old Testament, the prophets, judges, etc. And so when we take that into consideration, we got to look at the Most High. When he was building this nation of Israel, it is no doubt he wanted us separate. So this is where some people get kind of confused, but we can make it simple, say it's really not that confusing. And when he brought us out of Egypt, we know we went in there, they said 70 souls went in there. Out of them, it was either, I can't remember, it was 66 or 62 males. And 4 to 6 sisters. Now, all these males didn't have babies with them 4 to 6 sisters that went with them. So we built the nation of Israel with the Egyptians that was in that land and the other nations that was also in that land. Now, so I was asked the question, with that being understood, I'm laying a premise out, I was asked the question, does the scriptures promote interracial marriage, and is it a sin to marry outside your race? Well, the first question is extremely simple. Emphatically, no. It does not promote or even advise you to marry outside of the 12 tribes of Israel. So we can just make that clear. If you even look for an example, and I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to answer the second part, which is it a sin? But if you even look at, let me see. Okay, I got a good example. Now, this is a perfect example right here. If we go to, now, one of the elders had just did a teaching, man, not like this Sabbath, just passed, and it was about, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry about that. But like I was saying, it was a lesson this Saturday, man. One of the elders had did a teaching on sodomy. And you know how you've read the story over and over and over. You've even taught the story. But every time you read it, you teach something new. And it was something that jumped out at me, right? And it was, it was when we went into we basically had a civil war. And it was because the Benjamites was basically taken up for some sodomites, homosexuals, right? And, they had homosexuals in the land. And so what was funny to me, what really stood out, let me see, let's go to, if y'all got y'all swords, I want to go to, let me see, I'll start at Judges chapter 21, right? And when you go to Judges chapter 21, this kind of just jumped out at me because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, the tribe of Benjamin was almost wiped out. You know what I mean? It was they was down to a few hundred, 400 of them. And, we had to get them some more females. And so the first thing I thought about was, well, why didn't God just go ahead and send them over there to some Hamites? Just kill everybody and snatch their women up and get their women. Yet, let's see what he did, though. So I'm going to go to Judges chapter 21, and I'm going to kick it up around verse 1. I just want y'all to follow this with me, right? Judges chapter 21 and verse 1, this is what it says. It says, now the men of Israel have sworn in Mizpah, saying, there shall not any of us give his daughter unto Benjamin to wife. And the people came to the house of God and abode there till even before God, and lifted up their voices and wept sore, and said, O Lord God of Israel, why has this come to pass in Israel, that there should be today one lacking tribe in Israel? So, it got real bad. Like you said, we almost wiped out the whole tribe of Benjamin. They killed a lot of people too, because Benjamin is some gladiators. Plus, we was in their land. I think the death toll at the end was around 65,000. And so, what I paid attention to was, okay, it was time for them. Now we know that the male carry the seed, so that's who you make the nation out of. So when people bring up Egypt and us starting our nation, I'm under the notion from years of studying that was to start the nation, to build it up. After that, he put protocols down to preserve our nation. And let me skip down to verse 5 just to kind of let the book basically reiterate what I'm saying. It's saying the children of Israel said, who is there among all the tribes of Israel that came not up with the congregation unto the Lord? For they had made a great oath concerning him. They came not up to the Lord of Mizpah, saying, he shall surely be put to death. And the children of Israel repented them for Benjamin their brother, and said, there is one tribe cut off from Israel. So we did them so bad, we thought it was going to be 11 tribes. So, that's going to hurt. After all fighting over, that's still your brother. So let me continue to read. How should we do for wives for them that remain, seeing we have sworn by the Lord that we will not give them of our daughters and wives? So the tribes, they got together from the certain cities that did go and fight. They peeped the other Israelites who wouldn't go fight. So it was a couple of little towns where Israelites lived, and they were like, man, we ain't got nothing to do with that. So they was like, man, Joe, you know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it with Benjamin, when it concerned Benjamin, you was like, man, we ain't giving none of our, you ain't getting our kids because of what you did. They was, they was in the heat of the moment. But it was some more Israelites sitting around that they want to have nothing to do with it, and they were sitting in these towns. So look at this, right? So verse 8, it says, and they said, what one is there of the tribes of Israel that came not up to Mizpah to the Lord? And behold, there came none to the camp from Jabesh Gilead to the assembly. For the people were numbered, and behold, there were none of the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead. So we see that these Israelites that was over in this town, they never came up. So to make a long story short, they trying to see, man, whoever didn't come up here, because now they trying to find another way for these brothers to reproduce so the tribe of Benjamin won't be extinct. So I'll skip down to verse 12. It said, they found among the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead 400 young virgins that had known no man by line with any male. And they brought them unto the camp to Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan. So they found them, some young tenders or whatever. Now, it's desperate, but we doing what we got to, so the tribe, will go ahead. And I hate you got a camp out here trying to use this verse, to rape women. That's called spiritual retardation. Because all you got to do is read this and see exactly why this happened, and it still don't say nothing about no rape. So let me just continue, though. I had to just throw that shot out there in case they're listening, because that's real retarded. So I'm skipping down verse 16. It says, then the elders of the congregation said, how should we do for wives for them that remain, seeing the women are destroyed out of Benjamin? They killed the women, kids, and everything. Skip down to 19. Then they said, behold, there is a feast of the Lord in Shiloh yearly in a place, which is on the north side of Bethel, on the east side of the highway that goeth up to Bethel to Shechem, and on the south of Lebanon. Therefore they commanded the children of Benjamin, saying, go and lie in wait in the vineyards, and see, and behold, if the daughters of Shiloh come out to dance in dances, because Israel love to do some dancing, it say, then come ye out of the vineyards, and catch ye every man his wife of the daughters of Shiloh, and go to the land of Benjamin. Now, this is my thing. Y'all can read the story on y'all own later. If it was like no deal at all, like it just didn't matter what the woman was, then he could have just let us go to one of them nations that we didn't get along with, and it's a lot of them. We're going to deal with that later. That's why he told us at certain times, don't deal with particular strangers. And he would specifically name the strangers that he's talking about. He didn't say all. He talking about it was the specific ones that crossed us in some type of way, because when you crossed Israel back then, the Most High fight for it, he had a beef with you. So, and I looked at it, I said, okay, it's quite obvious why. Because he was trying to preserve Israel. So you need an Israelite man and an Israelite woman. That's just the best way to do it, because he could have sent them somewhere. We could have went over to one of them Hamite cities, just killed everybody, and took their women. But he didn't do it like that. He went and took of the daughters of Israel to preserve it. So that's one point. That's my opening statement. So I'm going to make one more, and then I'm going to let the sister go ahead and, do her thizzle on this show like she do so eloquently. So let me get back to this. Now, here's another one that people like to bring up, and I'm going to use two precepts for this. Now, with that being said, I was giving that for the argument of preservation. My second one was, is it a sin to marry outside your nation? Okay, this is what I'm going to say, me. But when it's all said and done, we're going to let the book speak. I say I cannot see in the book where it's emphatically a sin to marry outside your race. What I do see in the book, though, because if that's the case, we had a lot of patriarchs that's in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't do away with them. And then the Most High even said he hates divorce. So once you got them, you stuck with them. You got to teach them laws, statutes, and commandments. And that actually falls under the law of the stranger. Because once a stranger come amongst Israel and sojourn, they become like one of the family. They can't keep their own gods and stuff because that's God's beef. These other nations are pagans. 100% of the time, or 99% of the time, they got gods that have nothing to do with the Most High. So I want to go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, which we all know. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and look at this real quick. It ain't going to take you too long. But this one's swift. So Deuteronomy chapter 7, right? I'm going to start with verse 3 because this is what's read a lot. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shall thou take unto thy son. I might as well skip up. So you hear that, it's telling you down. Let's see who the damn is and see why he says it. When the Lord thy God, verse 1, y'all, skip back up to verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whether thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations. Somebody might want to mute their phone. You got a bad cough. Somebody crib dusty. Okay, so let me finish, right? So the Hivites, the Jebusites, the 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Now it tells you, you know what I'm saying, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his sons, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Why? Because he told us to destroy them. And if you go back and read on your own the story leading up to them, we had a beef with them. It was a whole thing that it was a beef with them. So he knew Israel was notorious for grabbing women outside of Israel, making babies. So he like, you better not do it with these 7 nations. So we see that, right? So I just wanted to really show the big reason why this is such an issue. Let me go to matter of fact, I can read today's verse.
Hold that thought, man. Hold that thought, brother. Hold that thought, man. You gotta go to the other panelists, man. You gotta go to the other panelists. You gotta hold that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll pick it up when I get back.
Man.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah, pick it up. Yeah, we got King Yeshaya, by the way. King Yeshaya is here. He made it, so I'll just let you know, Mona. You can go ahead, Mona.
All right. Thank you for that, Brother Mikha'el. We're going to come back around to you. I know you was holding that for a minute, so, I was just letting you rock because you brought out some very interesting points. These are the testimonies, so thank you again and welcome, Brother Yeshaya, to the show. These are the testimonies of what happened. We have the law and the testimony, so we can definitely see the wisdom and learn from certain things and understand the principles behind why we are being told to or not to do something in particular. So I want to thank you for that. You're definitely going to have another time when we go around the board. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and go to Sister Mayana, and then I'm just going to crisscross over my way through. So, Sister Mayana, are you there? Your opening statements on the second round of the Relationship Challenge, Interracial Relationships. Sister Mayana, the mic is yours.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, actually, I really enjoyed what the brother was saying. A lot of the points that he brought out today, we covered in the first session. Benjamin, the issue with Benjamin, and I think that it's great to have that review. He added a lot more understanding since we kind of ran over last time. But for this time, you know what I want to do? I kind of want to lay in the cut and let everyone do what they do. So I'm going to play defense this round and just let everybody bring it out. So I yield the mic.
Ah, man, yeah, I was caught off guard. I was like, huh. Wow.
That's
that was
right.
All right. I'm rocking with it.
So defense.
So my Sister Mayana yielded the mic early on me. I was a little shook up. I'm going to go ahead to Sister Tiffany. This is her first time on the show. and then I'm going to come over to our Brother Awar and Brother Yeshaya after that. So, Sister Tiffany, you're welcome to open up. I know it's your first time. You say you're a little bit nervous, but it's all good. The topic is interracial relationships, and it's no specific question. Usually we have a specific question, but for right now it's whether or not in Torah is it acceptable, if is it not, and your thoughts on it in general. The mic is yours.
Okay. Well, I thought what the brother just basically said, I kind of agree with what he said, but overall, I don't think that the actual interracial, word would even pertain to Torah. Let's just take race out of it. There's the Most High is not looking at race. He's looking at particular nations. When he basically didn't want us to, I agree, looking at certain scriptures and precepts, he wanted us to stay away from certain nations just because of he wanted us to not stray away from his laws. That was the whole reasoning behind, I guess, us intermarrying with different nations. Of course, going back to us being in Egypt and being enslaved for over 400 years, the first man, Joseph, his wife was an Egyptian, so he had his 2 sons, and they're part of the 12 tribes. So I think the race intermarrying with like strangers and stuff like that, I think that just throws it out the window right there, just with that. Basically, today I agree with not intermingling, I guess, with other races. But as far as I guess just the nation period, we do need to preserve our nation just because we need to preserve the truth of Torah. That's basically if we practice Torah, I think that the stranger. I think there's a I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with me when I say this, but there is a spiritual Israel. Just as the strangers were adopted basically into Israel, those who follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, they were considered Israel. It doesn't matter what color they were, what they look like. If that nation wanted to join with our nation and follow the laws of the Most High, they were Israel. And I really don't have too much to say because I'm kind of nervous, but that's basically my standpoint on it. I can throw in another topic. I guess Ruth. If you look at Ruth, her story with Boaz, it's the same thing. And I know I've heard different stories on Ruth, if she was actual Israel or if she was really a Moabite, or Israel living amongst the Moabites and she was called that. I don't know. I just go by what I read, and she in the Tanakh, she's a Moabite. So basically, it shows that she was a stranger married unto Israel, and which made her part of Israel. So I don't know. That's just my take on it. So if anybody else wants to comment.
Thank you so much. That was the voice of Sister Tiffany. She's new on the panel, so, thank you definitely for chiming in. This is the opening discussion, so it's a round table. No one is here to attack in any necessary way. It's just really to flesh out these thoughts. And as you could tell, this one is a hot topic because it's for the first time we had a repeat conversation. So it's definitely a hot topic that seemed unresolved. So here we are once again. Thank you for that, Sister Tiffany. I'm going to come over to our brother Awar, who'll be holding it down every week with Sister Mayana. Brother Awar, how are you today? And we welcome your opening statements.
Yeah, I'm good, sister. How you doing? And my brother, Mikha'el, that's my brother right there. Love that brother. And the sisters, all y'all. This is a topic where feelings get hurt, dreams get disappointed, because it's the will of the Creator. Okay? He's the one that's the separatist. He's the one that created everything and everybody. And I remember Michael Jackson made a song, and he said in the song, he said, the blood inside of me is inside of you. But what he didn't understand is the Most High's will. I want to read this. This is Ecclesiasticus in the King James Apocrypha, starting at, this is 33. I'm going to start at 10. So we can get total clarity, because we all come from Adam, correct? So let's see the plan of the Creator. It says, and all men are from the ground, right? And Adam was created of the earth. That's true. It says, and much knowledge the Lord have divided them. See, this is where the problems come in with the interracial marriages, okay? We mingling with the nations, because the Most High created a division among us. I'm going to prove it in the scriptures. It says, and much knowledge the Lord have divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them have he blessed and exalted. So throughout the scriptures, he tell you about this people called the children of Israel, whom he blessed. He said in Amos 1, you only have I known. He said in Deuteronomy 7 and 6, you are my holy people. So this is where controversy comes. This is what the world is fighting about. Who is of that royal family and who's going to get that heavenly kingdom? This is what the world all over the earth is fought about. And none of them are going to get it. It's for us. But I'm going to read it. It says, and much knowledge the Lord have divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them have he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them have he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. So this is where it gets ugly. The Bible gets ugly. That's why a lot of people take this book and steal parts of it and make up their own religion, because what the words say they don't like, okay? That's why people don't like the fact that it goes against interracial marriage, because the Most High is direct. As time went on, people did their own thing and went in all these different nations and married these different nations, and there's going to be a consequence for that. But anyway, it says, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made it. This is all the Father's will. We have no say in it. What he said and what he's doing is his will. Then it says, to render to them as liking him best. It says, good is set against evil, life against death, so is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against another. So this is where you see the racism and the things evolving, because people do not like the will of the Creator. He set up, like when I went back in the last show, it showed he made everything in its order after its kind. So people violated that, and that's why it's going to be a problem as time moves on. I'm going to read one more thing, and I'm going to pass the mic. This is Deuteronomy 32, verses 8. This is how serious this is, and a lot of people don't like it, but the Father don't care. It's all about what the Father wants. This is Deuteronomy 30, verse 8. It says, when the Most High divided the nations, okay, their inheritance. So he divided nations to have their inheritance, their own land masters. Okay, he didn't make us to be together or intermingle. They lived over there. That's why he gave Esau Mount Seir. He gave Moab their place. He didn't make us to be together. Okay, we all had our different lands. Then it says, when the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So this is where the controversy on the planet come in. It's about us against all nations. And that's why it's imperative you don't mingle with these nations, because he's going to straighten this out, and it's going to be ugly the way it's going to get straightened. I'm going to bring it out later as we go on, and I'll pass the mic.
All right. Thank you for that. That was the voice of Brother Awar, bringing out some very interesting points. Like you said, a lot of feelings will get hurt because we get attached emotionally to certain thoughts that may be possibly beyond our understanding as to why things are set the way they are. Very interesting. We'll continue to explore those thoughts as we go forward. We have Brother Yeshaya, who Southside is on the phone. Are you there? If you are, welcome to the show, and you're welcome to make your opening statements at this point. Brother Sal, is his phone off mute? Shalom, Sal.
Sal probably eating some unleavened bread, man. You know, he'll run off on you quick. So you got to learn, you know, this your show, sweetheart. You got to pick up when he leaves because he will go to the bathroom and everything.
You are funny. All right, we were waiting for Yeshaya. Sal said he was on. I'm not sure if his line is muted or what's going on with that. And so we're going to go around this table once again. Like I said, those were the opening statements. So we could definitely continue to build on that as the listeners gear up to press 1 because they definitely wanted us to come back again. So I'm not sure where Sal is. I'm going to hit him up. But, Brother Mikha'el, the mic is yours once again, and then we're going to go around really speaking to, you know, what we're saying. We could definitely speak across or if we have any questions for one another. So, Brother Mikha'el, go ahead. The mic is yours.
Thank you, beloved. I like to say also I like to give a high five to my brother War, man. That's my arc right there. We don't agree on everything, but for the most part, whenever we had to strap up and go against anybody that was talking bad about this Bible, we was on the front line together slaying. For everybody listening, y'all can go back and check them archives when Debate Talk for You did the international thing. And we debated the brothers from the UK over there. The other radio show, it was forgive me, I don't want them to feel like I'm disrespecting them. But TRL, I think it's TRL. That show over there, we debated them, man. Me and Award went over there and got down. So brought home the W, and Debate Talk for You is the number one debate. So I just had to throw that out there. Now I have to say the sister that's on the panel, I don't know her name. You said she was new, she was kind of nervous. I actually agree with her 100%. As far as it being not as much of a racial thing, but as a spiritual thing. And the reason and this is the probably only indifference I got with Award, because everything he said scripturally was a fact. And that's why I agree with him that you have to remove your emotions. It was only one part where I say I will have to show that it is more spiritual, because remember, Award, if you're listening, when I came on, the first thing I addressed was preservation, is to preserve Israel. So with that, of course, it will be taught to marry your own. So we don't even have a disagreement on that. My thing is it more spiritual or more carnal, meaning is it dealing more with like race, ethnic groups, or is it dealing with, you know what I'm saying, their gods, their behavior? And I remember I had stopped at verse 7 in verse 3 in Deuteronomy chapter 7. But what I'll do easy for time constraints, because we're going around, is I want to show something real swift on why things were said the way they were said. So I like to go to, if y'all don't mind, I like to go to Acts chapter 10, right? Because this is something that's quoted a lot for different reasons. But I want to go here for dealing with this subject and just show something real quick. And I'm pretty sure y'all are aware of it, but I just want to make it clear for the audience. Acts chapter 10, right? And we can see this was during the time when Peter went to go deal with Cornelius or whatever. I don't feel like having an argument about whether Cornelius was a Gentile or Israelite and all that type of thing. Let's look at the bigger picture right here, because we don't want to stray off. So in Acts chapter 10, I want to pick it up at verse 24, because this is read a lot. Verse 24, this is what it said. It says, as the morrow after they entered into Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for them and had called together his kinsmen and their friends. And as Peter, the Israelite, was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshipped him. But Peter took him up, saying, stand up, I myself am a man. So I'm gonna skip down to verse 28 real quick. It says, and he said unto them, ye know how that it is unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But God hath shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Therefore came I unto you without gainsaying, as soon as I was sent for. I asked therefore for what intent ye have sent for me. So there was a thing with Israel. and he reverted back to the law. It's bogus to even be, you know what I'm saying, kicking it hard like they're talking in modern day terms with people from other nations, right? So let's see exactly why he said this and where he got this from. See, that's just how I was brought up. Just let the book talk, right? So I want to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, right? So we're going to stay in the New Testament, and it's going to take us directly right back to the law. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And see, the thing with the Most High, everything he have us do naturally, it tell you it's already set up in heaven, meaning it's a spiritual reason for everything he tell us to do. He don't have us doing nothing just for tradition or just for us. It's always a shadow of something that's way deeper. So I want to go to, again, like I said, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, and I'm going to read verse 20. So listen here, people. Verse 20, it say, but I say that the thing, matter of fact, I'll start 19. What say I then, that the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, and not to God. And I would not that ye will have fellowship with devils. So this is one reason in Acts chapter 10 that Cornelius knew, like, man, it's unlawful for y'all to be around anybody of other nation, because Israelites didn't want to deal with especially not nobody as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Because they dealt with unclean things. They was considered unclean, uncircumcised, and they was literally uncircumcised too. But the spiritual aspect was they worship devils. All these false gods, these Amun, Heru, and Ra, and if you go over to Europe, Zeus, Odin, Thor, all that, them devils. That's all they are by any other name. So let's revert back to this law where I was at last time when I stopped. So I'm glad Sal did cut me off, because now he made it easier for me. Let me go to Deuteronomy chapter back to Deuteronomy chapter 7, and I'm gonna read one verse. It says, "For this is after he told us don't deal with these strange women." Listen to what it says. "For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods." It's these devils. "So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly." Now, to put the cheese on the cracker, let's show how the wisest man, what was the beef the Most High had with him? It wasn't because these women looked different or they was really necessarily of a different ethnic group. It's what they brought with them, because it's part of their culture, heathens to be pagans. So let me go to 1 Kings. I'm going to go to 1 Kings chapter 11. So everybody listen, I want y'all to follow me. 1 Kings chapter 11. I don't want y'all saying Brother Mikha'el said, and I'll say the book said. 1 Kings chapter 11. I'm going to read a couple of verses. Here we go. It said, "But King Solomon loved many strange women together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites." There you go again, all the nations we used to stay in tour with. See, to be personal with God, that's the point I was making. "Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love." So he did exactly what they was talking about in the New Testament and what the law said not do. And this was the wisest man that ever lived. So I'm going to skip on over and read these last three verses. Verse 8, "And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which was burnt incense and sacrificed unto them gods." These them devils that they was talking about and that I just read in the New Testament. Verse 9, "And the Lord was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel." This goes back to Deuteronomy. He said the reason not to marry these strange women ain't because, they smell funny, they look weird, or nothing like that. It's the fact that they is going to wind up polluting you, and you are a separated nation. That's what sanctified means, why they say it in the church so much. It means to be separate. You different. They supposed to learn from us. We're not supposed to learn from them. That's the bottom line to this story. "Which had appeared unto him twice," last verse, "and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods. But he kept not that which the Lord commanded." So that's all I really want to bring out so far is that this is one of the reasons people will read one verse, but they won't expound on why the Most High said what he said. So with that, I'll hold my peace to the next person.
Hey, man, where you going at?
Thank you for that. I'm not sure. Somebody got some noise in the background going on, so if you're not speaking, please mute your lines so that we don't hear any background feedback. Thank you so much. Thank everybody for joining us. We're talking about interracial, and as a hangover from last 2 weeks, we were speaking about as that's what's coming out today, as that. Okay, that's bad English, right? International marriages, marrying into other nations, and Brother Mikha'el went to some very, very important scriptures as it relates to this conversation, and so it's definitely on point that the Creator is looking at and letting us know the concept, and sometimes we want to kick against that. Sometimes we want to feel like, nah, that's not going to happen to me. That's a conversation that we're having, as we brought out before, that the marriages is not just between, it's not Romeo and Juliet. You're not just marrying the individual. You are marrying a lineage. You're marrying a family. You're marrying customs. You're marrying traditions. You're going to inherit grandparents and uncles and aunts who may want to slip you some pork, some fat back, a little bacon, a little, crawdads because your mama not looking. You're actually accepting. This is why the Most High is very clear on this conversation, because, it may feel like I love you, you love me, but it's more than that. It's more than that as we look forward. And so I pray that the conversation continues in the way in which it's going. Is Brother Yeshaya back on the line? I know Brother Sal said he was on. Is he back on the line?
Yeah.
If he is, he can definitely make his opening statements at this time.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry. Hold up. Yeah, my bad for the inconvenience, man, with being late, whatever like that, man. I had to do some things, so I just put it on mute. But
no problem.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that basically my studies with inside of the Bible and the way the children of Israel operate, I see that as always strict rules and laws and regulations. That basically follow suit behind certain instances like marriage and things of that nature. Since we are supposed to be a light to the nation, and since the other nations, when Mashiach comes, for those who do believe that, since the other nations will be underneath of our authority in righteous ruling, there will be certain things as far as today, like people marrying into Israel. We see that with Rahab. We see that with Ruth. And I know a lot of brothers, have, done videos and things that try to explain that these brothers and sisters, were Israelites. But, conclusively, we see that outside races, if they're willing to put down their religion and come into Israel and serve the mighty one, the Elohim of Yisrael, then they are accepted. And just as the stranger, as we have laws pertaining to the stranger traveling or sojourning with the tribe, he is to be absorbed into that tribe. So if he's to be absorbed into that tribe and treated as one that is native, then he will also be able to inherit the marriage covenant that was at Sinai, because that's what was taking place. And even the stranger themselves was included within that covenant, which that was a marriage. That was a ketubah being brought forth, and Israel agreeing to the stipulations of the husbands. So, that's my opening statement for that. I really don't have scriptures per se to go to. I went to a couple of scriptures when I was on, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. I just really wanted to give just a brief overview of certain things that is inside of the Tanakh that shows forth stipulations going into these intermarriages. One, for instance, we see that David also went into a marriage with a particular woman who was of another nation, and her husband was causing certain problems. If anybody recalls what the brother's name was, I'm pretty sure somebody can help me out with this. And after the husband had died, she went up and she became one of David's women. You know what I'm saying? So and she knew what she had to do. She knew that what she was going to have to let go, and just like everybody knows that, even with the men, people that are outside of Israel that are men, they also have to be married into Israel, because it's all a marriage. It's symbology. all right, the covenant, the 10 commandments, the 613, these are symbolic and marriage to the Most High. This is what we're dealing with when we're talking about Yasharel. This is why Yasharel is called the woman, you know what I'm saying, in the scriptures, okay? And this is why he brought us out, because as you see the pattern with the man talking to the husband and negotiating with negotiating with the father, he has to, you know what I'm saying, pay a bridal price. He also has to go build the house, make sure he has the sufficient funds to take that woman out of her father's house and put her in her own. And the same thing the father did when he took us out of Egypt, and even with the mixed multitude that was with us. So, you know what I'm saying, my thing is just be careful who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? If you know that you're about to get into a relationship with somebody that's not a believer or is not going to conform unto the belief of Yisrael and the laws, then that's a sin. You shouldn't even deal with them on that level. You know what I'm saying? If they're not trying to conform, I mean really, truly want to come and serve the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, that's just my closing. That's my opening statement.
All right, thank you for that. That was the voice of Brother Yeshaya. And so we have a full panel this evening. Very interesting. You know, I'd kind of like to stir it up. You know what I'm saying? I have to kind of stir up the pot a bit, because when we look into the Torah, right, and then I'm going to come back around. When we look into the Torah, my question is it a weakness or is there an affinity towards Israelite men to pick up strange and foreign women? And here's why I ask. It's because all throughout the Torah, we see in the wilderness, the situation with Zimri and Cosby, which was he picked up a Midian. At one point they call a Moabite, and the next part they call a Midian. But nonetheless, there was the Baal Peor, the whole controversy between them falling in with these strange women in the wilderness, not long out of Egypt. You understand? The whole thing of how many men had to fall behind that. And then this brother comes pimping through the camp, going into his tent with this woman. And then we see all throughout the text picking up foreign women. And we read about it last week 2 weeks ago, and we referred to Samson, and the question that his mother and father asked, is there no daughters amongst your people? Is it because homegrown is less desirable, or because that's local? Is there some kind of prestige for foreigners? Because all throughout, Brother Mikha'el just touched on Shlomo or Solomon. And he had all of these strange women, and no matter how it keeps turning out, the conversation is always, well, if they give up everything. My question is, why go for somebody who you have to try to convince to give up everything when there is abundance of daughters of Israel who are grown in this way of life? And yet one still chooses to go to try to make somebody. What's really going on with that? I'm not sure, but hopefully we'll get some answers, because some sisters is over there tapping their toes like, yo, can we get to the real to real? So for right now, I'm going to go over to Sister Mayana, and we're going to go around the conversation on that conversation. No, as a matter of fact, Mayana, one second. I'm going to go to a brother. Let me see. Who's on the line? Brother Awar, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it goes back on what you just said, that question. Goes right back to Genesis 6. I'm going to read it again. I said on the last show, it says, it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of the Most High, which is us, saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Most High said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. See, it's a lust thing. Just like today, you look at a lot of our brothers and sisters, when they get wealth, first thing they go for is that other nation. Like that's the superior type. That's a lust thing. That's just something that, like a dog that chases a tire. Why that dog chase that tire? It's just a lust thing within men. Especially when they get of a certain status, they just lose it. And that's why the Most High is very displeased with that. He don't like that. But that's what it was. That's been since the beginning of time. Men is going to do that. Okay, you have a beautiful sister, like you said, everything you need, but they're going to go and chase after that heathen. That's just what it is.
Uh-oh. All right. Thank you so much for that one, Brother Awar. I'm gonna ask the men, and then I'm going to come to the sisters, so I'm definitely not forgetting you. Brother Mikha'el, your thoughts on that question? Are you in agreement with Brother Oowoo? Is it a lust thing? Is homegrown, local, do you want more international? Well, not necessarily you, but in your conversation, are men going for what is more prestigious in perception? The foreign is better than what is at home. What are your thoughts?
Oh, boy. You definitely know how to stir a pot up, don't you? Well, I will say this. And I got to say, that was a crucial cut, bro. That Genesis 6, that the spirit will not always strive with men because, this is not a doctrine battle thing because we want to stay on topic, but a lot of people think that's talking about, angels sleeping with people. And we know that's dealing with the seed of Seth sleeping with the seed of Canaan. Because Canaan wasn't even inherited no more. He wasn't even named no way in the inheritance no more. You know what I'm saying? They was just son of men when we were sons of God. So you're right. So one of the things is Israel got a problem. And let me say this. It's kind of crazy. It's what's the word for it when it's something don't make sense. I wouldn't say an oxymoron, but it's like a conundrum or something. It's like we know for a fact that the black woman is cold. She, as far as we concerned, she the coldest woman on earth. But as a matter of fact, our oppressors thought that sometimes because they would hide their wife up there, privileged, with the best clothes, best everything. But they would go down there in them little hot, sweaty, probably nasty slave quarters just to grab them one of our women that probably been in the field working for 46 hours. It ain't even that many in a day, just to go sleep with her. So we know our woman bad, but Israel got a thing with, it's clean, exotic booty. I don't know what it is, but they got a thing with exotic. It don't mean that the woman looks better than our woman. Don't mean it's just because it's something different. It's something different, and then you got to take into account the things on TV. They keep cramming certain images down your throat. You just want to try it. You know what I'm saying? So Israel had that thing. And again, I want to say, I know Israelites that have wives of other nations. And I love them. And I love their wives. And that's where we got another problem at, too, because if you going to say, well, all the other nations going to burn or they're going to be beat in the kingdom, we know they're going to serve, but they're going to be beat and with rigor. Then you mean to tell me you going to sit up here and then you will say that, well, if you married them before you came to the truth, don't put them away. Okay, because we know God hates divorce. You did, you got to deal with it. But you're going to sit up here and disregard the law of the stranger because now if you took that wife from another nation, she's supposed to roll up under the law of the stranger, meaning she going to have to follow laws, ordinances, and statutes that we follow, her or him, and that means that they are going to have to get treated like your family so they can be treated like Israel. So you mean to tell me, you telling them, keep following these laws because you're looking forward to a good beating when we get in the kingdom. It don't make sense. And we got to stop letting our emotions override the logic of the scriptures. So I would just say it ain't nothing, definitely not nothing wrong with the Israelite woman. You know what I'm saying? It's something wrong just. And some people just got a preference. Let's just keep it real. For whatever reason, they have a preference. And they think it's exotic. And that's their preference. But as far as is it like a attack to our women, I know they feel like it is. It's like a slap in the face. I got me a Israelite wife. So I can speak like that. I got an Israelite wife. And I see attractive women from other nations. But I couldn't see me marrying them. No knock to the brothers that done it. You know what I mean? But I just couldn't because I feel like a woman from another nation. Now, this is me talking. This ain't the scriptures. I'm letting y'all know I'm doing my Paul moment. I'm boasting in myself. I'm going to say just from my little wisdom that I picked up through my almost 40 years. Let me backtrack that to my 21 years on this planet. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel that a woman can understand what me as an Israelite man have had to go through like an Israelite woman would. I just don't believe another woman would. So that right there, sister, that question right there is really dealing with an individual because I don't see that. I love black women. I love Israelite women. And I like to read one thing since we on that subject, you know me, I got to, because the books just seem to cut everybody's philosophy. So I wanted to read, okay, I want to read Romans chapter 9 real quick, right? Because it was something that Award said and that you said, Mayana, when you was talking about, you know, instead of trying to do all this cleaning up for this woman from another nation, and we speaking as women, as men, that's why I keep saying woman, because I can show you in the scriptures where it was actually cats kicking it with us, and I'm talking about in the scriptures, not in the New Testament, that was actually of another nation, like literally. Their father, I can show you where one's father was the Egyptian, and his mother was called an Israelitish woman, meaning that her father was not an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Her father was an Egyptian. Her mother was an Israelite, so she was Israelitish. So, you know, that killed a lot of stuff too right there. But let me go to Romans chapter 9, right? I'm going to read Romans chapter 9. Listen to this. Now, this is key too. So in Romans 9, this is what it says. Verse 5. Who are the fathers and of whom are concerning the flesh? Christ came. Who is overall God blessed forever. Amen. Not as though the word of God has taken non-effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So just letting you know now, I understand that it is not only natural, even in the scriptures, it's better off that you marry your own nation. But at the same time, like you were saying, sister, about cleaning up all that junk that they got from the other nations, it's lets you know that everybody at Israel ain't Israel. Meaning they physical Israel. They a seed Israel. They flesh genetically DNA of Israelite by race. But spiritually, they not Israel. Because they jacked up. So if I guess some brother look like if I got this white girl and she willing to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of God, then I got this Jake Ed, or Israelite sister, you know, Jake Ed, like Jake, and she don't want to follow nothing. Which one is he better off marrying? Now that's a question to you, my sister, and I'll hold my peace.
All right, now it's getting turned up. I'm Jamaican, so more fire. You understand? I want to thank Brother Mikha'el. You know, I like the question too, because it's actually leading into the direction that I was gonna go, and I'm gonna go to Brother Yeshaya and see his thoughts on it. But before we go there, to what you just said is the scripture is two-sided. Because we're talking about what it says don't do, and we're talking about what people do for whatever reasons, like you say, going into personal preference. But it says don't give your daughters, don't take their daughters to your sons, and don't give your daughters to their sons. And I don't see a lot of Israelites freely saying, here, take our daughters, even though at the same time you don't want them. You know what I mean? Not you personally, but oftentimes that's the mentality. I don't really want them, you know, because it's more illustrious over here. But at the same time, I want to take. So it's even one-sided in the respect of taking their daughters. But if you see a quote, like you say, Jacobite woman, or if you see a quote-unquote black woman walking with a European man or somebody of another nation, everybody's head is turning. You understand? So that is that's very interesting. And uneven in the conversation, and this is what is actually happening now. This is what's actually happening where the women are sitting around like, you know what? It's been too long now. This is going on too long. So guess what? I'm about to go do it too. But in Torah, that's the balance. If you're going to trade daughters, then it has to be both ways. You have to take theirs and give yours. So we're going to come to your question. We're going to definitely continue on this conversation. Brother Yeshaya, would you like to weigh in on the question concerning the exoticness? I'm picking up on what was being said. Is it the exotic, the difference of the foreign woman that that a man would rather try to remake her or reprogram her versus appreciate someone who was born and grown in this way and love them in the same way? Because a lot of sisters are asking these questions. So, Brother Yeshaya, if you have any thoughts, and then I'm going to come to the sisters and let them speak for themselves. And then we're going to check on Brother Sal because he's been kind of quiet. So, Brother Yeshaya, the mic is yours.
All right. Hey, Sal trying to be neutral. Nah, brother, you got to get in this one. But But okay, yeah. Well, I'm gonna just talk from my personal experience based upon my understanding of, you know what I mean, the biblical scriptures, yo. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna do. Me personally, all right. Listen, I love black women, and just like this is just like not even being funny or nothing like that to none of the listeners. I had a paradigm shift, man, probably like 3 years ago, and it went from, you know, light skinned to straight dark. Like I like on some real, I wouldn't even really give a light skinned woman the time of day that I give a dark skinned woman. So, but to figure out if they're gonna be down with following the truth, I weigh that more than their skin complexion and their tone. All right. Basically, what I'm saying is, yes, I like all women. You know what I'm saying? And women are beautiful, but I like the ones that are trying to do what's right for the Most High. If you're not trying to do what's right for the Most High, I don't care how exotic you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm a young man. I you know, I work around women. You know, I talk on Facebook with women and stuff like that. And it's a way that I got to carry myself to let that woman know it's not about what you got on your body. All right, it's really what you got in your heart for the Most High. If you don't got that, then you know not to even approach me like that, because I'll be catching myself up in something that I can't get out of. Because 9, 10 out of time, a lot of these non-believing women and men, they get clingy to believers. You know what I'm saying? You hit it, or you know what I'm saying? Anything that you show them that's different outside of what they used to, they get curious and they want to stick around. But then you got to figure out, well, I know she exotic, but is she with me because she really trying to get close to the Most High? Is she sitting in the Shabbat lesson because she really trying to get close to the Lord? Or is she just like, yo, I love this man? And see, that has happened a lot of times in the past with me and my brother. And, you know, a lot of women had to get, you know, ex-nayed because, you know, we found out y'all not really doing this for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So now it takes a different approach to come at these women. If we're going to do that and pursue, it has to be out of a genuine heart, because not knowing if they're Israelite or not, because I know a lot of people assume that all black people over here are Israelites. I don't hold on to that. But if that's the case, then brothers and sisters should know that if you are dealing with somebody else outside of another nation, as some people would say, Gad, Reuben, and all these people that have various colors, various brown tone to high yellow tone to almost Caucasian color looking tone, then it's just like if people will use that as far as saying that, you know, another race, you can't intermarry with another race, then these brothers got to be careful. Because you can be getting with somebody that's saying they're Israelite and they not, genetically, you know what I'm saying? But they following the statutes, laws, and commandments. But this is why I hold the law, statutes, and commandments if a woman is keeping them more so than their flesh or their genetics. I believe that the Bible pushes that more. Yeah, there's a lot of dudes out here, man, that's going for the exotic women. Me personally, I don't got that problem, but I have talked to a lot of women. Have talked to a lot of brothers, and you know they like them Indians, they like them the mixed kind, they like them, you know what I'm saying, the chinky eye kind, or you know the kind with the you know light skinned red bone type, or they like the white girls, you know what I'm saying. And it's like at the end of the day, man, are you going after somebody that's trying to keep Torah, somebody that's genuine, like are you just out here really just trying to find a woman? You just trying to find something that's going to twist and dip for you and, you know, be flexible and stuff. Because that, and 9 10 out of time, let's be real up here. That's what the brothers is looking for. If they out there looking for something exotic, they looking for some exotic sex, something different. Maybe the other Israelite sisters, they seem more prudent and, you know, she ain't down with the, you know, giving me the wop. But that's just what's going on these brothers' heads. Yeah, that's what's be going on in these brothers' heads, and I know that's what's going on in their head because I had plenty of conversations with women on Facebook that was like, yo, the first thing the brother asked me was this, that, third, and I'm like, you know, it's messed up how we coming at our women, and when they say, listen, I'm trying to build and trying to know what's really going on and which way I should go, then I trying to force multiple wives, that like just a whole bunch of stuff happens, and then once the woman actually resists, that's when we start going after the foreign women. That's when we start going after the women that, you know, shaking their butt, showing a little bit of, you know, thighs and stuff like that, and we actually neglect our Israelite women. I don't do that, but I'm saying that is a problem, and it shouldn't be. An Israelite woman doeth better than all the daughters of the earth. You know what I'm saying? You know, bottom line. So, you know, that's just really my take on it, man. Like, no brother should be out there doing that, man. Stick within at least a paradigm that you're practicing. Don't go outside of that. It's something that's exotic, or, you know, something got more meat on his bones, or she's, white girls can do this good, and Puerto Rican girls can do that good, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Stick to the paradigm that you're practicing and leave those exotic women alone. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. Like that word, exotic. That sounds sinful.
It sounds exotic. Well. You know what? When you come on the Debate Talk for You relationship challenge, everything just get real truthful, and that's a beautiful thing because in the truth we could begin to heal. After we deny stuff and say it's not true and pretend that people are crazy, this leads to further separation of the masculine and feminine principles. So I definitely want to say thank you, everybody, for just being truthful. We heard from the men concerning what's really going on, because the truth of the matter is that's what's really going on. You have women who are, and I like that you brought that up, and that might be another show, but you have women and men, but mostly women, who are not looking for the Most High. They're looking for the man, or the man is looking for the woman, and they will be willing to pretend until you don't find out until later. So that might be a whole different topic, but I want to go ahead to the ladies now who've been waiting very patiently. I hope you guys have been taking notes, because there's a lot of pain in the relationships within Israel, and Brother Yeshaya just went through all of what really happens, and that's what really happens if you don't want to conform, if you don't want to give in, if you want to have a level or a standard by which you operate. You stand in either being ousted out your house or divorced or scandal, and this is real stuff, because it's like in the days of Judges, everybody does what's right in their own eyes. So prayerfully we can get some clarity in these areas. So I'm going to go to Sister Mayana. Sister Mayana, and then I'm going to come to Sister Tiffany. Speaking of don't give your daughters to their sons and take their sons to your daughters, do you think it's a fair assessment if men are saying that you can go and be with these women if they're willing to keep Torah? Is it so if you're willing to go to another nation and help to build up that nation as the wife of a stranger if they're willing to keep Torah? What's your thought on that?
Well, as I voiced in our last segment, absolutely not. The scriptures are very clear when they say that we are not to give our daughters to them, neither are we to take the daughters unto our own. And we pointed out last time that it's very interesting that the resource that is moving between nations in an effort that they become one people is not the sons, but it is the daughters. So to that question, what I want to do is that we know that in the last, I don't know if the listening audience has noticed, but in the last couple of segments, we have done a few pre-show polls to pretty much check the pulse of the people and see what their opinions are on the topics that we address later that evening. Shout out to Yas People's Meet on Facebook for allowing us to use their membership to bounce some of these questions off of. The general questions that we asked the people was to gauge whether or not, showing love for the stranger, people of other nations, and nations other than Israel, what does that mean? Does it mean, A, fair and righteous dealings that do not include marriage, fair and righteous dealings that do include marriage, C, not destroying or abusing them on sight for not being Israel, or D, they were given the option to write in what they actually believed. The responses were, interestingly enough, out of the 16 participants, 16 of them all voted that hospitality was all that loving other nations meant. There were 3 that believed that also included integrity in business dealings. Only 1, and that member was the male, believed that marriage was a part of loving the stranger. When polling all women in a separate group, 11 votes were for hospitality, 2 votes were that they should just appreciate that we didn't work them out right, but 0 of the women believed that marriage was part of the love that we needed to show the stranger. In fairness, that particular group does have other members that do support marriages outside of the nation. We discussed before that this is called exogamy in anthropology, and that we are not dealing with racial constructs, because racial constructs are an anthropological imagination that didn't exist in Scripture. Instead, we are dealing more accurately with other nations because the Most High dealt with nations. The Most High didn't deal with color. In fact, no one dealt with color prior to the 1800s. That's something that anthropologists devised to categorize people in a way to make new boundaries that didn't exist beforehand. In a completely melanated continent, other distinctions had to be made, such as what family you came from, where the geographic markers were, and what kinds of belief systems you guys, so that the people held culturally. So that's an important distinction, and I believe this is Tiffany touched on it earlier. One of the things that was brought up during the course of the conversation were a lot of the first century texts that seem to indicate that there is a more permissive environment for this kind of cross-cultural intermarriage. Acts 10 got thrown around in the previous episode, and it was repeated again today. One of the things that I think is important to note is that Acts 10 features Peter, who was an actual apostle, but he's also an apostle of distinction because he's one of the few that we know was married, potentially had a family, and he's the one that originally was to be the apostles, at least in one instance that we know of, to the Gentiles. What Peter does not do, while he does partake in a meal with him, he has conversations with him, what he doesn't do as a husband and potentially a father is offer his daughter to any Gentiles that he comes into contact with. He is capable of showing them hospitality, capable of interacting with them without doing the exchange of daughters. That was not something he felt compelled to do to demonstrate that he loved the stranger or anyone outside of the nation. Another example in Acts is found in Acts 8, where Philip finds an Ethiopian who's studying our text, obviously someone quite interested in our culture, and he's a eunuch, so doing the queen's business. And Philip educates him, even baptizes him, but never recommends that his people, not obviously the eunuch, but his people go out and intermarry with the daughters of Israel so that he gets a better understanding of the culture and fully assimilates into our nation. Teaching him, baptizing him was the limit that even Philip was prepared to do. There was a conversation also earlier, I'm not clear on which brother brought this out, but there was a mention of Abigail. Her name wasn't mentioned, but it's the one that becomes the widow and David takes to himself. It should be noted that Abigail was a Carmelitess, which is a territory in Judea. She was an Israelite. She was not a foreign-born. David, of all of my complaints for David, that's not one of them. Abigail was a wise woman, and she was one of our women. Another thing that was brought out, and I believe our sister Tiffany brought up Joseph. The reason I'm going to go through this is that the one person that made the argument for marriages, and the people that we had from the last show that made the arguments for these exogamous marriages, rather than show us where we provide language that says do not marry or do not go and make marriages, do not go and make covenants, it's not being reciprocated with contrary language. There's no counter-narrative where the Most High ever says, in your efforts to love the strangers, by all means make marriages. And no matter how many times or how many ways we've phrased this request, no one's been able to provide such a verse where the Most High changes his instructions that by not oppressing and by loving the stranger, we must also make marriages and covenants with them. Instead, what we get are a collection of examples. One of the examples is Joseph. Now, what we understand about Joseph is that while he was in Egypt, he did indeed get a wife there. He is indeed the father of two branches, Ephraim and Manasseh. Ephraim, we know, does not remain a lineage. Joseph absorbs that, and only Manasseh is listed in the latter portion of Revelations, which is a collection of our previous prophecies.
But Ephraim gets absorbed, Joseph and his son, because Dan also gets absorbed. So anyway, the reason I am addressing Joseph is that what we find out about Joseph is that while he made a lot of advances while he was in Egypt, once he died, all the Egyptians that were cool with us reverted back to their previous behavior and oppressed us. This was not a long-term solution to anything. Joseph's, all the strides that he made, all of the political advancements he made, all of the cross-cultural efforts that were done to create some kind of tolerance and understanding and whatever it is that may have made us feel like there was a utopia of some sort, completely fell apart. And that's when we pick up where Israel is now in slavery. We're in captivity in Egypt because the scriptures plainly say they forgot all about Joseph, or there's a new generation that knew nothing of Joseph. And so all of that melting pot, kumbaya, we're all one people feeling went away. The other example is Rahab. Rahab is, the classic hooker with the heart of gold. The problem with that is never does Rahab at any point say, your people are my people, your God is your Elohim is my Elohim. She never confesses, she never converts. What she does is she negotiates for her freedom. She says, yeah, I heard what you guys have done. We're scared because we know you've been destroying things. I need you not to kill me. So can we strike the deal? Not once did she say, I heard about you. I heard about your Elohim. I can't wait for you to come and tell me all about it. Not once. So this is not your hooker with the heart of gold. She really wants to convert. She really wants to be part of our people. She comes through because she is willing to worship our Elohim. That's not what Rahab did at all. You won't find it. The account of Rahab is found in Joshua 6. So by all means, check for that. We also spoke about Romans. So Romans 9, we speak about Paul. Paul is he's good. Well, what's interesting about Paul is that Paul, although he is the one that says there's no distinction between the Jews and the Greeks, he maintains his Israelite identity and never absorbs or adheres to the generic Christian term that everyone else is adopting as he's creating these churches. He very diligently creates this distinction between himself and Gentiles. He at no point aligns himself with them or agrees that with his own policy that there is no such distinctions that need to be acknowledged. In fact, he makes a point of telling them that they ought not to be arrogant, that even through this adoption is being grafted in, which we know is a thing, that being grafted should not boast against the natural branches. So even in establishing this adoption, he maintains the distinction between those who have been adopted and those who are the natural branches. Just brings us to the conversation about there being one law. There is one law, and this is true. In terms of what the Most High has instructed Israel to do, the stranger that sojourns among us, they are entitled to certain perquisites. They get to take the Sabbath with us. They cannot be abused in their labor. We cannot subject them to much rigor. However, we can charge them usury. We can keep what else is it? We can keep them. We can charge them taxes. I'm going to need to help me with this third thing because I don't remember it offhand.
I'm here.
Listen, I let the mic go the one time, so now I'm catching it, and so I'm
I see you. You're like, yo, I passed on that joint, so I'm gonna stack it up. That's
right. I told you I was gonna play defense. I sat here and I wrote my notes down as everybody spoke. So, the other thing, I don't know if you can tell, but obviously my mother is Hispanic, so I got no beef with Hispanic. So, that's not what we're talking about. So when we come to this idea of well, she's Latina. Hispanic means something else, but that's not the point. Exoticness. This idea that I'm hearing the men confess to, and of course I'm with Imuna in that we appreciate your honesty because now once we understand what the mindset is, we can address it and we can deal with it. So we hear the brothers admitting that there are some men who are finding other women attractive because they are different.
And not because they are necessarily down with our Elohim, not because they want to be anything humble, but because they're different and nothing more. And the things that were being described is their sexuality, maybe their complexions are different, their hair textures are different, but none of these things have anything to do with our culture. Now, I think that it's also interesting to understand that it sounds interesting to me that Latinos are being othered in a way, othered in the same way as maybe Asians or other people that we have a clear separation from. And I think a lot of that is being done across color lines because and questions about the origins of Latino culture. But so if we, just for the purpose of the conversation, allow that Latinos are a part of the original nation, just within their particular branches, then I think that it's kind of peculiar that they're being othered in this kind of way. So I wanted to say that. Also, I want to say that if we're going to say that what the impetus is for these men to seek after the women is this exoticness. It's basically these men and women who are doing it as well are fetishizing these people, and that's not Torah. I would be hard-pressed to find who you are attracted to or who you prefer in the Torah system. We're not touched on it today, and we were in depth on it in the previous segment, that this is not how we constructed marriages in our culture. No, it wasn't. You mentioned the Romeo and Juliet analogy, which is correct. We did not have Romeo and Juliet. What we had was the merging of houses. It would have been the Capulets and the Montagues. It would have been you understand, like the couple in the account of or the play Romeo and Juliet. They are considered a tragedy because this young couple who love each other, who want to be with each other, are kept apart not by circumstances but by their families. She says, "Wherefore art thou, Romeo? Wherefore art thou?" Does not mean like, where are you? She's not saying, where are you? She's saying, why are you? Why are you Romeo? Why do you have to be the son of the family that is the enemy of my family? And so what we need to, okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm getting the cues. So this is my final thought on this. It's not part of Hebrew culture for us to deal with things in terms of individuals or individual likes or individual preferences. Instead, we thought about things in terms of family, longevity, generational blessings, and we dealt with things according to what our families needed in terms of inheritance and property and so on. And Isaac and Rebecca is a great example of that. Jacob and Leah is a great example of that. We have so many examples of the way our families made those decisions for us rather than individuals making those choices. And the many times that individuals did make those choices, they went very, very wrong. So with that, I will yield the mic and so let's not turn around the table again.
Thank you for that. Mayana tricked her. She was like, yo, I passed. She's like, yeah, I'm about to add up my minutes. Let me get that.
Right.
To the Most High. I want to thank everybody for tuning in right now. We're having a conversation. We're going around the table. I know Brother Sal is holding it down. I'm going to go to Sister Tiffany, and then I'm going to go to Brother Sal and see what the audience is saying, hearing their thoughts on this conversation, because as the sister just left out on, you know, it's very selfish to think that you are the only, this nuclear family of only man, woman, and child is the only people that are involved. You know, there are other people involved. You understand? And if you marry your arch nemesis, you know what I mean, or like she said, the arch nemesis of your family, that's problematic because it's going to make for a tumultuous environment, not only for you, but also for your children and also for your extended family. So this is all the thoughts that have to go into who it is that one is really getting into bed with, because it has long-reaching effects after, you know, all of the giddy feelings have passed away and the honeymoon period is no longer there, and you're left with the reality. Some people have run away because of their mother-in-laws or because of their in-laws, because they're just that off the chain. So we have to remember these people could either make your life very good or make your life absolutely terrible. Sister Tiffany, are you there? We have not forgotten about you. I hope you're doing well, holding it down. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
There you go. All right, your thoughts so far? I know we probably like, what? They won't stop talking. But what are your thoughts so far?
No, I mean, I appreciate the dialogue. I'm really just soaking it up. So, well, you know, I agree basically with all the panel on all their parts of what they said. But me just being who I am a spiritual person. I think what we're missing here is everybody's looking at this from the carnal, fleshly side of things, and I more so take it on a spiritual level. I understand where in the Torah is speaking of actual families not being married into this and that, but I take it back to us being the children of the Most High, being created in His likeness and His image, which is being part of Him. We have that spirituality from the Most High. So with us being given that, we didn't know any better when we were first here. Before we even had the commandments, before any of that stuff, we were enslaved by a people who had their own gods, their own religion. Once we were basically taken out of that bondage, I really believe that he needed to establish his spirituality in us. We basically, I believe, the Israelite men, and including women, but we have a lot of lust inside. So with them liking foreign women or whatever, they're not liking the women of Israel or thinking other women are better than us, I really just think it's more fleshly desire. It's just they're acting on their flesh and not tapping into their spirituality. Because if we all acted on our spirituality, I believe that, you know, most of these Israelite brothers, they would be attracted to only Israelite women. I mean, if we carried and upheld our spirituality of the Most High, I guess following Torah, and they were actually the brothers, Israelite brothers, actually, I guess, just basically did the law and acted more on their spiritual instinct, we wouldn't have the problems that we were having then, and we wouldn't have the problems that we're having now. Just being attracted to other nations. But, you know, that's just me. I don't really have a long dialogue. My whole thing is that 10th commandment, thou shalt not covet. If we can get down that part, I mean, we can tackle our whole entire fleshly, I guess, sinful ways. It would knock out all of those commandments. If we knock out the covetous part of us, we can be on the right road of, I guess, basically following the Most High's laws and keeping within our nation. I absolutely, I guess I stand firm on that. Because, I mean, I really don't have too much to say. I mean, that's basically how I view it. I mean, we are the most spiritual people walking the planet Earth right now. I mean, even if you go to Romans 10, verse 2, he says, "For I bear them that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge." If we had the knowledge to go with our spirituality, we want to praise the Most High. We want to do right. We want to follow that law, but we're kicking against it. Our flesh is kicking against that. So, I mean, if we can knock that out, I mean, I don't think we would have the problems that we have right now as far as lusting after other women or lusting after anything.
Right. And that's a definite point. That's the voice of Sister Tiffany. She just dropped some information that I teach my young ones. We have conversations about it always, and that I often speak about is that 10th commandment. It is the internal one. It is the one that no one can see until it manifests itself. It's the one that you incubate within your own self. So definitely, if we are like the proverbial, he who conquers himself is better than a man who takes a city. If we really understood that, learn self-government, like she said, and understand that it's coveting. I agree. Coveting is at the source of a lot of this stuff. So yours is better than mine. You know what I'm saying? I want your land. You know I'm Judah, but I want to be by the sea. Let me get that, Zebulun. And the Most High put a lock on that. He said, nah, you can't take other people's land. What is yours is yours. This is what I have apportioned to you. So don't even think that you're going to step your foot on it and acquire it. And this is to put you can't move boundary markers. This is all Torah. Why? Because you can't try to covet what is not yours. And it's definitely one that we're missing because it's something that we have to do ourselves. It's a discipline. It's an internal discipline that it's the hardest thing to do. And so I definitely agree with that last statement. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for that comment. Brother Sal, you've been kind of quiet. Brother Sal, where you be?
Your boy right here. I'm right here, you know. I'm actually, I have a lot of people on social media that want to chime in, and I have a lot of callers standing by. And by the way, we only have like 9 minutes left, people. We have like 9 minutes left on the air, but we're going to go into the overtime part of the show. What that means, if you're listening on social media, if you're listening on Blog Talk, after the 9 minutes is up, you're going to have to call in to hear the rest of the show live. So, we got more time in the overtime part of the show to get more of your questions, your comments. But if you don't mind, I want to jump right into these phone calls. People have been standing by patiently. Let me jump into the phone line. So let's go to 312-885. You're live in the air.
Hey, peace and blessings, grace in Jesus' name, everybody. I'm been enjoying the show, Sal, all the sisters and brothers on the panel. I was on earlier. You had me on there earlier in case your boy didn't come, but then my call dropped off, and so, praise the Lord, I'm back. What I want to do is take the emotionalism out of this, period. What the book say. That's my motto, what the book say. The thing is, I'm going to answer one of the things when y'all was talking about why do black guys or whoever go after when they get, other nations when they get the money. We all got to look at the curses. We all got to look at we didn't do our job, all right? We didn't do our job, so certain things happen. The main thing that brothers say, and I used to be heavy into the entertainment industry, and the main thing brothers would always say is, these black women got attitudes. Now, as far as the Israelite woman that got the knowledge, y'all know what I'm talking about, but you know how to conduct yourself. I'm talking about outside. That's they're physical Israel, but they ain't got the knowledge. So y'all know what I'm talking about. So this is why they go towards the other nations. Because in the book, it says, the daughter that's tender and delicate among you her eye will be evil towards her husband. So when they get that money, they go to the other nations. Because the other nations might act the same way, but not as bad as us, because we stiff-necked and hard. That's what Israel is. When it comes down to what the book say as far as the nations, my brother Mikha'el read it to you. Everyone loves to go to Deuteronomy 7 and start at verse 3. But they never start at verse 1. It's 7 nations. This is what the book say. This ain't emotional. The Lord said not to marry these 7 nations. Why? Because these 7 nations committed so much abominations he did not want us to learn that we do today. And in those 7 nations, he said, kill them all. That's where we messed up as a nation. This is why we got the problems we got. Because we didn't kill them all, he said, have no pity on them. Yeah, they're larger than you, but I'm going to deliver them unto you. And y'all just got to kill them off. And our brothers didn't do it. So we got these problems. They are snared into us. But it was those 7 nations. It was not the entire world. Now today, because we didn't knock off those 7 nations, the entire world goes after Molech. So yeah, now we got to watch all of the rest of the nations. However, they do, sister, like you said, have to be spiritual Israel. I'm a prime example of someone who married a physical Israelite. But spiritually, she gave me a written contract telling me, walk away from your church. Walk away from the Sabbath day. So she's not spiritual Israel. But let's read who he is. If everybody got their book, let's go to Exodus 12, verse 33. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, we be all dead men. Go up to verse 37. And the children of Israel sojourneth with Ramses and Succoth about 600,000 on foot that were men, besides children. Now that's us, but who was with us? And the mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds on every side, all cattle and everything. Skip to verse 48. This is concerning the Passover. And when the stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, that all his males be circumcised. So if the stranger's with us, and the Lord is telling us how to deal with the strangers, because they're with us. Remember, at this time, we were in Egypt. We were leaving. These strangers, all these nations, they knew these niggas over here are the slaves. They knew that. So what they did after the Lord wreaked havoc, they came with us. They could have went back home. They could have stayed in Egypt. But they saw the true living God of Israel, and they came with us, and they became spiritual Israel. This is why the Lord didn't have a problem with them. Where was that? Verse 48? Hold on, I lost my place in the book. Hold on. I'm sorry about that, brothers. I'm sorry about that. I flipped the page over and lost my book. But I just want to show y'all, the Lord didn't have a problem with these people, and these were all other nations. Verse 16.
You got the verse? Got it. You got the verse?
Yeah. I got it. Verse 48. And when the strangers that sojourn with thee shall keep the Passover, let all his males be circumcised, and let him come near and keep it. And when he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth even among you. One law. Go to Ezekiel 47. Let's see what the Lord did with this stranger too. Ezekiel 47. He even gave them our land. Ezekiel 47, 21 through 23. So shall ye divide this land unto you according to the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by the lot for an inheritance unto you, and to the strangers that sojourn among you, which shall she beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have an inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. It shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall you give him his inheritance. Isaiah 46, 56. Isaiah 56. The Lord straight is telling us, this mixed multitude is with you. They not Israel, but they came with you because they saw what I did for them. So they Israel now. Isaiah 56. Verse 6 through 8. And the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord. There's the spiritual part you was talking about, sister. The sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord. To serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it. These people going to keep the Sabbath too, not Sunday. And take hold of my covenant. Even them will I bring into my holy mountain, and make them a joyful noise, my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifice shall be accepted upon my honor. These are the strangers. And for my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. I ain't even went into the New Testament. The Lord telling us right here, with all of this stuff, anybody that comes to me, they come to you first. But if they come to me through you, they Israel. and he ain't got a problem with marrying.
Yeah, hold on, brother. I got to let people know we only have a few seconds left, actually. If you want to get a call in to hear the rest of the show, the number is 646-716-7320. We're going to take a lot of questions from the audience out there, and also I got some questions I got to read out to the panel. So, again, call in before the time runs out to hear the rest of the show. So you can go ahead, brother. And after that, I've got to go to the panel. Yeah. Can you hear me? Hold on one second. Hold on. Yeah, I think, hold on. Let me bring it back in. Can you hear me?
All right.
Okay.
I'm right here, Sal. I understand, man. I'm going to go and let you go because you know me. I keep going. But, I mean, basically what it comes down to is the Lord ain't got nobody having a problem marrying outside of Israel. He had a problem with those 7 nations. That's what it was. And so if you become spiritual Israel, the Commonwealth of Israel, you getting in the kingdom along with the rest of us. Peace to Jesus, y'all.
I appreciate that. All right, who wants to, let's go with Amuna. Go ahead, Amuna.
I wanted to say something really quick. Thank you for the brother for calling in. You know, me, I like balance, because if we present this spiritual Israel concept that we're hearing spoken about here, we're going to continue to blur the lines as it regards to Torah. So I just wanted to touch on some stuff really quickly. Concerning in the wilderness and those who were there in the wilderness, if you go to the book of Numbers, Bar Midbar, in chapter 11, right, I'm one who reads the whole text, but read the whole text in your own time. It says here, and the mixed multitude that was among them fell a-lusting, and the children of Israel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? So understand, yes, the mixed multitude came out, but they were very instrumental in a lot of stuff that went down in the wilderness. That's number one. That's Numbers Bar Midbar 11. Please read it on your own time. They were there, and the Most High gave laws. But when we read about the mixed multitude, we read about it last week, and our brother spoke on it. The Israelitish woman who married an Egyptian and had a son, he blasphemed in the camp, and they brought him to Moshe to say what should be done of him. Later on, a law comes to say whoever blasphemed, whether it be homeborn or the stranger, the same judgment. When it's talking about the same laws shall be done. But there is a separation. In Leviticus 22, quickly, it speaks about the priest's daughter. And if the priest's daughter is married to a stranger, she cannot partake of the holy things. The Torah says, this is concerning the Levites. She would be a Levite. And in the Levitical priesthood, the stranger could not partake. This is law. This is Torah. Another space that in Leviticus 25, it speaks about the bondmen and the bondwoman. And the Most High says, you cannot press hard your brother and compel them to do this, to do hard labor, because the Most High said, they're my servants. But the Most High said, of the heathen that is around you, meaning the stranger, as the brother rightly said in the book of Ezekiel, who is going to be around, but the Torah clearly tells you that you're not going to be oppressing them. It's not going to be like slavery like you experienced here in the U.S. or whatever the case may be, but this is the righteousness of the stranger. As we heard earlier, that you're not going to vex them. You're not going to oppress them. You're not going to force them to break Shabbat while you keep Shabbat. But there is a separation. And it's not a mean one or a nasty one, but if everybody's saying, well, let's see what the law says, then no feelings can be involved in this situation. And I just wanted to add that in to the conversation, because it's like we're taking a little detour to negate some of the very laws that is there. So the stranger has been there, will continue to be there, but there are ways in which we should operate. And if you do give your daughter onto a stranger, you have just put her in a different position. Let's just say that. And that's just my 2 cents on that conversation, just to kind of full it up a little bit and put some more weight on the other side of it. So back to you, Brother Sal.
Yeah, by the way, we actually lost King Yeshaya. King Yeshaya is no longer with us right now. I guess his phone, died or something like that. But we appreciate the brother for coming on, though, sharing his information. Tiffany, anything you want to say? Anything you want to address, Tiffany? Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm just listening at this point.
All right, cool, no problem. Let's go to Mikha'el. Do you want to address before you go to the next question?
I'll let you peace to the brother Oscar that called back in. Yeah, he made some real good points, and beloved that just spoke. I actually see this is not one of those shows where I can see us getting into a fight, because everybody on here knows Torah, Tanakh, Gospels, Apostles. We know the book. So it's actually a joy to me to see that even though we don't see everything exactly the same, like that brother called it Allah, that's my brother, but we don't see 100% as far as like, everything he said was scriptural. That was on fact. So I agree with everything he said, except for the part about the. Basically, I just want to make it clear as far as myself. I don't see anywhere where the book in itself promotes going to another nation. And I'm not saying he said that, but I'm just saying I'm a little more emphatic about that. And it could become touchy for people, but it's not with me. And the reason is because when we dealing with the book, and I think other nations understand it because they don't have a problem with it. They do the same thing with theirs. Now, the way the Most High works, he know how Israel is, and he know it's going to happen. And it's because of all these laws that y'all just brought up, the brother Ozzy, two sisters, Mayana, and I can't think of the other sister's name. I'm sorry, beloved. I don't want to disrespect you, but I just can't think of your name right now.
It's Imuna.
Say it again.
Imuna.
Oh, oh, right. I'm tripping because my wife's middle name is Amuna. Yeah, that means faith. That means faith. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. So, I should never forget your name, Amuna. Right, I'm tripping. All right, but my thing is, right, when we look at these laws of the strangers, they were put in place for these reasons. Let's keep it real. No, you would think it would just be like every other nation. You don't see Chinese people going out their way looking for black women. I mean, it happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens usually because them Chinese people been hanging around or they bumped into each other in college or however that went. And they were attracted to each other and they vibed with each other and they crossed that taboo line and they was able to make it work. So let's be realistic with this. But overall, no nation does this, goes and looks intentionally for another group of people. And I believe just outside the book now, just me talking to everybody, I'm boasting in myself. It's Mikha'el. I believe, but like I said, I know some beautiful white women. You know what I'm saying? I know beautiful women from all type of races. It never really was my thing to get into that. Just probably because it just didn't feel, that normal to me. But I know these people in person, and I love them. They follow the God of Israel. See, I don't come. I wasn't raised up in a camp that said that other nations couldn't step foot in it. They got blew up a long time ago when I saw it was a generation period put on there and why he said that. You know what I'm saying? When I realized that the chosen is supposed to be a light to these, that we're supposed to teach them. So the whole protocol, the whole reason the planet is messed up is because Israel didn't do their job as the priest nation. We the only nation that's priest. It can't come from nobody else. So the whole creation is off balance. You know what I'm saying? So when I understood that, I don't have a problem with the other nations that are not racist, that repent and say, man, I'm sorry, I didn't have nothing to do with that. I want to serve your God. I don't have a problem with them. Now, as it comes to marriage, like y'all said earlier, to get back to the original question, can you love them and not promote marrying them? I say, of course. Like, of course. And what he read before we get on that, when Oovoo was reading, what he was reading, there was something that popped up in my head. And this was something that I read on the show when I was on my brother G-Con show, the Ron, right? And it's just, I'm pretty sure we kind of all in understanding compliance with this. Where the Lord go, too, because I ain't heard him in a minute. 1 Kings chapter 8. I'm going to read 1 Kings chapter 8. And I want y'all to listen to this. Now, see, this is why I asked that question earlier where it said all of Israel is not of Israel. Meaning, and I threw the question out there for Mayana just to see what she would say. I know this is her show. She asked the question. So I just want to kind of throw it out there and make it fun. If you got an Israelite man or woman, let's just take it off the man. Let's put it on the woman too, right? Say y'all got a brother, right? And this brother just do not want to do right by the Most High. I mean, he just stink of wickedness. But for some reason, you love him. Because, one, he your people. Whatever he rub your hair good or whatever he do, he fix the kitchen sink good. You want to deal with him. But let's just say, and you being righteous, but this Gentile of another nation, right, that you kind of had your eye on, and this man is literally trying to follow your God. Not the Gentile God, not the God of this world, not Satan, but he want to follow the God of Israel. Which one would you choose? And the reason I ask this question is because a brother called in the G-Con show, and, I specifically read this to him because I don't think he knew it was in here, and it's in more than one spot. And this kills all of that about who it's talking about from the other nations. Let's put the woman, let's say you sisters, or I say me as a brother, this woman falls under this category, right? And remember, y'all, I got an Israelite wife. I don't got no Japanese wife. She's pure Israel. I'll show you a picture of her. So watch this. First Kings chapter 8. Listen to this clearly. This for all the people who say them other nations is doomed and all that. Because what if you marry this woman? Listen to this. Verse 41. Moreover, concerning the stranger, that is not of thy people Israel. I want to say that clear. Everybody listen. So they can't tell you, that stranger talking about the Israelite that moved to Russia. No, because it specifically said, that is not of thy people Israel. So we know this is talking about a non-Israelite. But cometh out of a far country for thy name's sake. For they shall hear of thy great name, and of thy strong hand, and of thy stretched out arm. When he shall come and pray toward this house. Wait, hold up. So you mean to tell me other nations can pray to our God toward the house? And that's talking about the holy city. Toward this house. The holy city, right? Jerusalem. Let's listen to this. They can pray to our God, y'all. Listen to this. 43. Hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth to thee for. So everything that stranger want to know about the Most High, want to deal with, you supposed to teach them their laws. You supposed to put your hate to the side for the white man, because you just bumped into a white man that want to worship your God. If not, you ain't doing the Most High no good. Real talk. You carnal. I'm keeping it real. And this is a brother that will go to war with these racist SOBs if I got to. But this book got to override it. Look. That all
okay, well, I
people
think
of the
you
earth.
asked a great question. I'd like an opportunity to answer it. This is Mayana, and you addressed me. And I think that because we have people waiting, I'll just address it really quickly. What's being misunderstood and confused is no one's saying that you should hate anybody. We're discussing marriage. It doesn't preclude them from praying to the Creator. We call the Most High the Most High because He created everybody. So it's not an odd thing that they are worshiping and praying to the Creator. He created them as well. You mentioned previously, which kind of answers the question that you asked, that we were commissioned to teach them. So we're discussing that we agree that they should be taught. We agree they should not be oppressed. We agree there should be hospitality. We're saying they don't need bedroom privileges to do that. We can do that. That's like a young woman who doesn't know how to take a compliment. A guy smiles at her. She thinks that he got coochie coupons for that. You don't need to do that. You can teach. You can have hospitality. You can not oppress them. You can give them the Sabbath. They can enter into their relationship with the Most High. We are not denying them a relationship with the Most High. We are saying that we have prohibitions against marriage. Deuteronomy 7 lists 7, but there are other nations that get involved later on. For the caller who mentioned the 7, we addressed that last time. Finally, you said to me, what would I do? This is what I would do. I don't think that I live in a world where if the Jake that wants to be with me refuses to be with the Most High is the only Hebrew on the planet. So the only thing left is this Gentile that is down. What happens to the Gentile that wants to know about the Elohim? Yes, he absolutely has access to that. He doesn't have to have access to bedroom privileges with me for him to have a relationship with the Most High. I'm not denying any nation the relationship with the Most High. There is no this idea of a spiritual Israel. I'm very happy that Amuna already addressed that, so I won't address that now. But having addressed what the brother posed to me, if no one else has anything to say, I think that we can go to the next caller now.
Yeah, actually, we got to get to these callers. We got a lot of people standing by, man. So we have like limited time left. As a matter of fact, Tiffany, if you're still there, usually we go on for a little while longer, maybe 30 more minutes. Do you have any more time to stay with us? If not, then I understand. But that's your first time on the show, so I want to know if you have any more time to remain with us. Do you have any more time or not?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. I got to check in with you. There you go. All right, so let's go to the next caller, though. Let's go to 443-939. Live in the air.
Hey, how y'all doing? This is Jeff calling out of Maryland.
Hey, what's up,
Can y'all hear me?
What's happening, bro?
I'm all good. I'm going to try to stay with the point that Mayana just brought up. She said they're not teaching hate. So I want to ask Sister Imuna, does she still hold to other nations being born to worship idols and graven images?
Can you state the question again?
I'm asking, do you still hold to other nations being born to worship idols and graven images?
Are you quoting a particular scripture that you wanted me to reference?
No, in part one, you said that the other nations were born to worship idols and graven images. Is that 2:12 and 57 seconds?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to 2:12 and 57 seconds. I'm gonna have to listen back to that and hear the context, because if we hear any of these shows, we also always speak in context. So that's why I asked it.
Come again? I said that's why I asked it. Make sure I got my context right and the recording right before I ask the question.
All right. So what I'm gonna have to do is take a listen, and I'll take a listen actually right now and let it go around, and then I'll come back and answer you. What's your name, sir?
Jeff. And I got one more question. Just for you guys to battle out on the panel. As far when you look at Bathsheba and Uriah the Hittite, Uriah the Hittite didn't bring Bathsheba any problems. On the contrary, she brought him problems. So my question is, if David is the king, and the law is like so against don't marry, why wouldn't David speak against that union there, when that would have clearly been an easier way for him to get that woman than have to go through all the murder and things of that nature? So that's basically my question. I'd like to hear everybody speak on that. And the sister Danielle, is her name Danielle?
That's Mariana, we have Tiffany, and we have Amuna on the panel.
Tiffany, I'm sorry. I want to give shout-outs to her for just keeping it so simple.
No doubt. All right, let's get a war in there, because the war's been quiet for a while, so war ahead, brother. Right.
Yeah, what you saying? Say that question again about why did David speak to what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I said Uriah the Hittite married Bathsheba, and that's an interracial marriage there. I said, I'm asking, why wouldn't David speak against that marriage as the king, if that's the way it's supposed to be, where that would have been an easier way for him to end up with Bathsheba than having to go through all the murder and things of that nature?
Right. Well, that's a good question. I can't speak for David, but the question goes back, is that lawful with the Most High? That's what matters. Is that lawful with the Most High? That's the whole agenda of the show. Is it lawful with the Most High? Why David didn't speak on it, I can't answer you. I'm not David. But the question is it lawful with the Most High?
Actually, unfortunately, I just want to let the audience know, unfortunately, Mikha'el called us dropped, and once we're in the overtime part of the show, brother can't call back in, unfortunately. So we appreciate Mikha'el for coming on, but I wish he could call back in, but in the overtime part of the show, there's no way to call back in. But Mayana, you want to address anything? Go ahead.
No, I want to hear the next caller or the next person you have in queue.
What about you, Tiffany? You want to address that?
I'm not certain on this. I'm asking this question. Was Bathsheba an Israelite? Was she a blood Israelite?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. For me, when I'm thinking about King David, even King Solomon, taking all these foreign women, obviously, Solomon was the wisest man that ever walked the earth. So it wasn't a sin and it wasn't evil in the eyes of the Most High to take those women. It was just to command not to. It was a preference. I guess it was just a command not to, just because of their ways and the way they were actually brought up in their culture of actually dealing with other gods and idols. So I don't want to speak on David, but I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't spoken of or if these people weren't thrown out of the camp for that, I don't think it was anything major.
Hey, Sal, can you still hear me? Hello?
Yeah, say it again. Yeah, you're
I was making sure you still hear me. If Amuna comes back and she verified that she said other nations were created to worship graven images, my point was God said He hates that. So in doing that, you're preaching that God created a nation of people for hate, and we can go into the book of wisdom and see that the book says that if he hated anything, He would not have created it. So that was my point for when Imuna come back. I would like to get her view on that once she clarifies what the last video says.
I
think that one of the things you might want to remember is that David himself had Moabites and things and all kinds of madness in his personal genealogy. The Hittites, by the time of David, we didn't destroy them when we were supposed to. Uriah is in his army. He is dealing with the Hittites in a particular way. So to cause that kind of disruption in his household would also affect his army. We see how Uriah responds to David when David says, "Go home to your wife." He says, "What kind of man goes home? What kind of man leaves up with his wife when we're at war?" You know, of course, David was that kind of man because he sent all his people out to war while he hung out on the rooftop and purred into people's windows and peeped Bathsheba. That's how he peeped Bathsheba to begin with. If we want to keep it 100, that's what David was doing. So Uriah on many Uriah does have a particular station by this time during David's time, and he is a member of his military. So David had plenty of reasons not to disturb that particular union or cause an issue with that union. Because the same argument was, why do you have Uriah as one of your soldiers in your military if you really have beef like that? So, and it's not like you don't know that Uriah is married. We also know that in terms that I heard the saying that, there must not be anything wrong because David did it. David did a lot of things that were wrong. And whether or not David chose to speak on it, like our brother Awar said, it's not material. The Most High spoke on it. Most High said the Hittites were supposed to be utterly destroyed. They weren't. Okay, I think another brother said because we didn't do what we were supposed to do, that's why we are in the situation that we are in. So we reap the consequences of our behavior and the decisions that we make. And David was in the midst of that. The answer to why David didn't do it, of course, will only be conjecture, but these are the facts that we have. David is of mixed ancestry in terms of who's in his genealogy. David is also not really one who's making a lot of wise decisions in his own sexual exploits. So, I mean, I don't think that we need to use we have a problem with this kind of ancestor worship, parading out all of our ancestors and say, look, this person did it. Doesn't really matter. We have to hold it up against Torah. This Torah says it's okay. And if it doesn't, then case closed.
All right. Thank you for that, Sister Mayana. I had to go do a little fact-checking. So I want to thank for those who chimed in on that question from Brother Jeff. I'm very careful when I speak, and definitely not infallible, so I want to thank the brother for actually giving me the time date marker so I could go directly to the question. Like I said before, and this is one of my, and Mayana could tell you, foundations is context. This is why I asked the context. If you pluck just 12:57, I said the nations were born and bred. But if you just hear nations born and bred to worship idols, one could put anything before or after that. But in the context of the conversation, it was actually Brother Yeshaya who came on. This is when he was making the remarks about how everything was asinine. Sister Mayana decided not to come up, right? And so I come up and have a conversation because And then I'm starting to say, how is it, and I asked the same question today, how is it that one would overlook someone who was born and bred?
Oh, man, unfortunately, Amuna called this drive, too. Wow. A lot of calls are dropping tonight. Oh, man. You know what? Let me get another caller real quick. I'm going to try to reach her in the background, and maybe she had to call you, Mayana, on the three-way. If we can get you on the three-way, get a moon on your line. I'm going to try to get her on Facebook. Okay, not a problem. Let's get to the next caller, though. Let's go to 443. Oh, hold on. I think she has another line. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. 321-614. There you go. The backup line. There we go.
All right, I got the backup line, Brother Sal. I learned from debate talk to you, so I'm done.
All right.
No, what I was saying was, for clarity for the brother in Casey, if you listen back to what I said, I did not say that the Most High born and bred them. I'm saying, why would you switch out someone who you know straight up worships Dagon, someone who you know was born and bred in idolatry, for someone who was born in, and that's the context of which I was speaking on that. So thank you for bringing it up and for raising the question, but for clarity, my context was not that the Most High born and bred them. I'm talking about the reality of whatever religion or idolatry that someone is in, and why would you intentionally forego Torah-based individual for someone who you have to reprogram? So hopefully that brought clarity. Brother Sal, you could go to the phone lines now.
Let's go to the next caller. Let's go to 443-815. You're live on the air. 443-815. Yeah, 443. Can you hear me? 443-815. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? Yeah, how you doing? Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. My name's Mercy. I wanted to say I like to start from the beginning when we discuss an issue, and the word Genesis in the Torah means beginning. And if we go back to, to answer the one caller's question, they said, well, why didn't David, talk about David and Bathsheba? Well, that's a real simple answer. The Israelites made a treaty with the Canaanites. That's real simple. That's what they did. Now, if he's marrying a daughter of Israel, obviously they in peace with each other. And that's what Most High told him not to do, not to make a treaty. And that was one of the problems what David did with her, is what he did right. He really betrayed Israel's trust with the Canaanites because they had a peace treaty. So he went. That's why it was murder, because he should have honored the treaty. But what did David do? And this is why the Israelites didn't have a problem with what David did, because they knew that Uriah the Hittite was a Hittite. He was a Canaanite. That means it was forbidden marriage, which means it was nothing wrong with men in Israel that see a problem with him killing him because, hey, look, he's the enemy. But, why do they allow this? Why do our army allow foreigners to come over here and join our army? They're spies. And what they use those spies to conquer their enemies. But anyway, that's a side point. Genesis chapter 7, I want to go to Genesis chapter 9, verses 21. Because this is where it all starts from. Then he drank talking about Noah, then he drank of the wine and was drunk and became uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both of their shoulders, and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. So Noah woke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, he shall be to his brethren." So we see here Canaan is cursed. Now, all those 7 nations you read about in Deuteronomy chapter 7, if you do and see, that's the problem with a lot of Hebrew Israelites, they don't do genealogy checks. If you do a family tree check, you'll find out all 7 nations came from Canaan. And Noah, this is what Noah cursed. Now, notice I said Noah was drunk. He was drunk. So, therefore, he wasn't in the spiritual mindset. So this stuff about they worship Torah is okay. No, there's no exception to the rule. Noah did it when he was in a carnal state. And I knew he was in a carnal state because he cursed the wrong person. Ham is the one that did it, but he cursed his son instead. Now, so he didn't even curse the right person, but he cursed him anyway. And Abraham co-signs with this, and later on in Genesis, when he tells his wife, Sarah, in Genesis chapter, I believe that's when you guys read this verse earlier, when it talks about Genesis chapter 24, where it talks about Abraham and Sarah, how they decide not to get the daughter of the Canaanites. This is found in verse 3. And I will make you swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and God of earth, that you would not take a wife from any son from the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. Now you see here the prohibition against the Canaanites. Lord cursed them first. Now Abraham and Sarah, their parents, Israelites' parents, the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, your father Abraham has already made a prohibition against the Canaanites. He didn't say you can marry the Canaanites if they follow Torah. He said no. I don't want no Canaanites marrying. So Abraham's very carnal. He's very carnal. He's like, look, I don't want you marrying no Canaanites. And he didn't say, well, if they follow Torah. There was no exception to the rule. Now, in Deuteronomy chapter 7, you find the Most High co-signing on what Abraham and Noah did, but then he gives a reason to say because they worship idols. Now, that came later on. Prohibition started much earlier. And then I talked about 2 weeks ago, I talked about Peter. I'm in with this in Acts chapter 10. Peter, now see, Peter prohibition is much different than all the others. And Torah prohibition says do not marry. Peter says don't even associate. See, this is the thing. This is a different prohibition. This is a totally different prohibition, which lets me know this is a totally different Gentile right here. This is a special type of Gentile. This ain't a Canaanite. This is a Roman. And see, this is the whole thing. This is what black people don't understand. This is really don't understand. This ain't the Canaanites we talking about. The Canaanites you cannot marry. But the Romans here, he says it's against our law to even associate. So why did blacks get over here and become slaves? It's not because we married the white man how we got over here. We got over here because we doing business with them. We did commercial business. Slavery was the biggest business of all time. Our ancestors sold us in slavery, talking to the white man, and that's how we got over here. I believe Peter foresaw this. This is my little opinion. I believe Peter foresaw this, and that's why he says it's against our law for us to even go in your house. Because you want to know why? We know because the Romans did something the Canaanites didn't do. They oppressed God's people right in their own land. And see, what did the whites do? They didn't do what the Canaanites did. The Canaanites didn't oppress people, they colonized people. The whites, like the Italians, they colonized the Africans. The British, they colonized the Africans in Africa. The white Americans, they held black slaves in America. See, they hold you hostage in your own land. See, that's a different type. That's a whole different type of Gentile right there. So I just wanted to say that because and then you got the French. The French is I think they're the only white nation. They dropped a nuke on Africa. A lot of people don't know that. France dropped a nuclear bomb in Africa. You got to Google that. So you got to Google this stuff to know what they've done and to understand why Peter's saying what he's saying. And so when I see Peter saying, he say, look, we can't even do business with these people, these Romans. We can't even do business because we do business, they're going to trap us. And that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what the whites did to our ancestors. They did business and they trapped us. But that's all I wanted to say. I think interracial marriages is totally wrong, but I think it's wrong to even do business with certain groups as we see in Acts chapter 10, verse 28. And I'm done.
All right, man. Who want to take on that one? Let's go. Actually, a water swordsman, man, his call actually dropped. So, honestly, it's nothing but females on the panel right now. Nothing but the ladies on the panel right now. So, yeah, taking over right now. Let's go to Mariana.
Go ahead. Go for Mariana.
Yeah.
Now, this was Amuna. Concerning the caller, I just wanted to say he made some very interesting points. That history now, as we're looking at the Torah, the prohibitions, the principles, the wisdom in some of the things that are being said, sometimes we just think it's laws and we just want to kick against them because we don't understand the long-reaching consequences of breaching these laws. But as one thing that he did mention that I'm knee-deep into studying right now are the narratives of the slaves versus of the European oppressors as well as the slave masters, and he's right in just not necessarily making marriages, but when they landed in certain parts of West Africa, they did business dealings with them, and these business dealings are covenants. And in these covenants, they were betrayed. So the truth of the matter is that certain strangers that we don't know what their objective is, and I was just reading it today in the book of Joshua, the 9th chapter, we see something like this. The stranger wanted something, and they didn't want the Israelites to take them out, and so they pretended like, and you can go and read it, they pretended, and they were from Gibeon. They pretended like they were from a far country. They had moldy bread, jacked themselves up, jacked up shoes, and then and made Israel under false pretenses go into a covenant with them to cover their behind. So it does. We keep talking about marriage, but I agree with the brother to the extent that even in certain business dealings, we shouldn't go into business dealings with certain people. And I agree there is a spirituality to it. You can't just say on surface, you know, okay, you're not on the list, but I just don't like you just because X, Y, and Z. But we have to use wisdom in this day and time because over and over and over again, we are still seeing exploitation through bad business deals. I mean, how many behind the music do you have to watch to get to understand that they're not your friends? You understand? You still want to go pimp yourself out only to turn around and say they robbed me. You understand? So I do agree with a lot of what he just said concerning other dealings with certain people who are known for certain type of unscrupulous behavior. So with that, I relinquish the mic.
All right, Mayana.
No, but I agree. I agree with Umuna. And I think the brothers did make a lot of good points. I think that what we're rehashing is that we're trying to keep it in the forefront, that we're not trying to talk. We're not advocating for violence or any type of abuses against the stranger or other nations. We're simply trying to keep things in perspective in terms of what is good for the nation, what is considered nation building, and what is the scope and prescribed method for showing affection to the other nations. And we talked, like, there was a brother that came in and, like, went all over the Tanakh and gave all of the ways that he felt that the scripture said that we are to express that kind of love for the nations in terms of, you know, sharing certain things and allowing certain things. But among that list of things that the Most High said that we ought to do unto the nations, he also was unable to give us the verse where he said, make marriages with them. So that's what the conversation is about, and that's pretty much the limit of the discourse at this point, not whether or not we like other nations.
All right, Tiffany?
I agree. I agree with Amuna and with the brother, what he just said as well. We all take into context of how what was going on, and a lot in the Tanakh and in the Torah, it'll drop little hints here and there that we overlook a lot until you actually really study Africa. And like he said, I know my brother that he's talking about, he studied the slave narratives, and a lot of those stories you can take back, see them doing the same exact thing, because I guess they're an extension of our people in the Torah. But yeah, I agree totally with not, because you know how other nations deal with us. Period. You really can just get a feel of how they are and what they're all about before you even start to go into any type of business deal or any type of relationship with them. It's not really hidden. But yeah, I do agree.
All right now we only have time for one more question. Actually, I didn't get to none of the email questions, but I saw one in particular that's kind of straight up. Let me just read this one particular question. And shout out to Prodigy75, Dre Gates, and everybody else that sent their comments, things of that nature. I'm gonna have to probably address it in another time, another show. But here's the question. It says, if you had a teenage son and they came home with the Caucasian, Japanese, etc., would you approve the relationship or not? One of the straight-out questions right there. Let's go to Tiffany. Would you approve your teenage son, whatever, daughter, whatever you have, they brought a Caucasian or Japanese, would you approve that relationship or not?
Funny. I have 3 daughters, and my oldest one is 16. And if she came home with a guy of another nation, no, I would not approve that. And that's just because I know what those other nations are about, and I know we as a people, as a nation of Israel, we are in the day and age where we are, awakening, and we need to come back to the Most High and follow His law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. And I know our men, our Israelite men, are the chosen priests of the Most High. So I need my daughters to actually be with their nation. I don't want them to go into another person or anything like that to take them away from whatever their beliefs might be, because right now we are the priests, and I just would not agree with her bringing home a white person or anybody else. No.
All right, straight up right there. Mayana, what would you say?
I have 3 little boys growing up in my house, and I know when I was growing up and I was a teenager, my daddy used to tell me, don't come home with any gray babies. He's from Mississippi. He kept it real. Hey, don't come home with no gray babies. I don't care what you do, just don't come with no gray babies. So my daughter, she's 18, but she has also been, her marriage was arranged when she was 3 months old. So I don't really have those issues, but I don't think that my nephews, because of the way they're being reared, are going to make any different type of decisions. They, I don't know. I would support it as them being raised as young black men. I think that I would definitely not support it. My nephew is in his 20s, and he already knows what his CP approves of and what I don't approve of. So I can't imagine that my younger nephews would have any different experience.
All right, Mona.
Yeah. Just to get straight to the question, no. And the reason is again, because it's like to say, what would you say if you built up your business from scratch and you did everything and now you handed it over to your son who's just going to throw it away? How will you feel about that? Not very good. You understand what I'm saying? And so to get to this space and time where the children have to understand that you're investing into further building up your nation, and your son as well as your daughters, my son as well as my daughters, because I have son and daughters, they need to understand that we're passing the baton on to you. You understand what I'm saying? And we pray from now, the Most High provide a right mate and a helpmate for you guys as you go forward. So, no, it wouldn't be something that I would necessarily be rejoicing, because what else would they be coming with? And like everyone is saying, just having somebody who's quote an Israelite is not sufficient. We need to have righteous Israelites and righteous unions and righteous marriages, and those who are going to be ahead of the curve in a certain sense, so that you are not the stranger. Let me just say, the stranger is not supposed to get up over you. When the stranger is up over you, that's part of the curses. And it's not, again, that you haven't heard any hate, you haven't heard anybody saying any of that thing. So what I'm saying is, no, I would not be rejoicing, because, again, that there's other ways that we could have gone about it. And definitely the conversation would be there, and the children would know that we have this conversation. That's not just something you pop up with anyway, So, yeah, that's my piece.
Yeah, there's actually a follow-up to that. There's a follow-up to that question. If your teenager didn't approve of what you said, would you disown your child? Wow. Would you disown your child? Let's go to Tiffany.
No, I wouldn't disown my child. But like Amuna said, I totally agree with what she said, because that's what I was thinking of. Like, I'm raising my children, based on Torah. They know the law. They know what they're supposed to do. I'm raising them to be, righteous women. I don't want a person of another nation to come in and destroy that. But no, if she did bring someone home, I wouldn't disown her, but I would make sure she knew I was not happy with it.
All right, Mayana? Yeah.
the context is that the child is still a child, which presumably means they're still under my roof. And then, I don't have to disown them. They live here. And if I disapprove of it, Scripture plainly says that you respect the law of your mother and the law of your father. So, again, like I said before, this was never about, in our culture, it was never about individual attraction. It's always been about what's good for the family, and it's always been about property and inheritance. And so the child would have to be instructed. We are supposed to instruct our children and not be led by them. So, no, I wouldn't disown my child. I wouldn't have to.
All right, Mona.
I'll be like, Mona. What I do, brother? What I do?
But you just on your picnic, you know? There you go.
Well, I just on a picnic. Like I agree with what the lady said. If there is a teenager, I think, as we switch paradigms of understanding, teenager is still a child. They're still in your house. Them not push no key in at them door. You understand what I say? You still reside here. You don't just go around happening upon people and I'm bringing them home. So hopefully we'll be reestablishing myself and my husband some understanding of decorum, how you go about things. And they would know from them small and they coming up, listen, that's not how you do things. Because first of all, just to bring somebody out the blue is kind of disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying? It's a disrespectful kind of vibe. And so hopefully you and your children have a conversation. You have a rapport. I speak to my young children from now. Listen, Most High bless you with a righteous mate. This is something that we need to teach them from their little bit growing up so that they can understand what it looks like, what it sounds like. And so they will waste less time in the world trying to recreate the real, so to say. And so prayerfully, Most High, our prayers from our mouth is that, the Most High blesses. Because otherwise you're just going to be like Ima Ribka. Like Isaac, if Jacob get a woman from here, that's it, man. What's up with this? Our elders knew, man, this can't happen. Look at Esau with these women jumping around all over the place. That's a problem. That's definitely a problem. Okay, but the mic is yours.
All right, unfortunately, we're going to run out of time, so we got to get some final statements. I wish the gentleman were here, what a sportsman. I know what he would have said, and everybody else on the panel. But, we're going to definitely, we appreciate the information that they presented, and we're going to definitely, hear from them in a future show. So let's get some last words from the special guests, and, of course, my co-host. Let's go first with Tiffany. Last words.
I just wanted to thank you guys for letting me be on the show. I definitely learned a lot. I know I was a little bit nervous and I didn't really have too much to say, but I appreciate you guys having me. And I love the topic, and I just hope I can be a part of the show for some other topics.
Oh, yeah, we definitely going to bring you back on, get you a little more warmed up to the show, definitely. And we appreciate you. Any information you want to put out there, maybe websites, whatever, YouTube, anything you want to put out there for now? Emails, people want to reach out to you?
Well, I don't have any websites or anything like that, but you can reach me on Facebook. I do. I study a lot of history of West Africa, and I'm really into studying our culture as Hebrews. But you can catch me on Facebook, Tiffany Okundo. And if you want to email me, it's blkprqueen3@gmail.com.
All right, we appreciate you coming on the panel. By the way, people, I got to let you know the next TRC show, the Relationship Challenge, that's coming up, what the titles are. The next show is going to be, what's the title of the show? Are we to seek family approval before getting in a relationship? All right, once again, are we to seek family approval before getting into a relationship? That's going to be next Monday. You don't want to miss that show. And after that, the following Monday is going to be Infidelity. Should I stay or should I go? Infidelity. Should I stay or should I go? And after that, we're going to have 5 major reasons why brothers and sisters separate. So those are the next 3 shows coming up on the TRC segment of Debate Talk Radio. Let's go to Mayana. Any last words?
Oh, hallelujah. This is a great discussion. I'm really appreciative of our guest panel. Thank you, Tiffany, for coming and lending your voice. That was awesome. And thank you to all the brothers that came, and thank you to the listening audience. I look forward to talking to all of you again next week.
This is Mikha'el. We appreciate you. And, of course, final statements from the First Lady, the Big Talk for You Radio. We appreciate you creating a segment. Any last words?
All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Bless up yourself. Everybody have a blessed night. You know, we have to do it. Was so nice. We have to do this one twice. And definitely check out other things that Sal has going on through the week. And, again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out on me on social media. No need to blast. I don't bite. You know, you could express yourself and we can have a positive discourse. You can check me out at www.emunayisrael.com. And we have a new children's book coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. And also Angry Black Woman Syndrome Revisited for those who have an issue with the angry black woman. So check out that book on Amazon or online. So once again, everybody have a blessed night. One.
What's the daily word? Daily word.